There you go.
Hey, we're live. How the hell are you? This is Real Men Talk Shit. And we got some shit to talk because some fucking people want to talk some shit and not fucking say it to my face. And I'm really getting fucking sick and tired of it. So first off, if you have shit to say, fucking say it to somebody's face. Don't be a bitch. And if you do say it, hey, I don't fucking care. Like, we're all fucking men here. We all talk shit. We all have some fun. But you don't talk shit behind somebody's back. That's bullshit. That's absolute child bullshit. That's second grade level, scumbag level shit. So, in all honesty, if you're going to fucking talk shit, fucking say it to me. You're on my Discord server. You know exactly who the fuck you are. Fucking say it. I don't give a fuck. Just fucking say it. We have Josh with us this week. He's a RuneScape felon.
Yeah. Wait. All right. So I've heard some things like.
Oh no!
Wait, and I've heard only like a very little bit from Zach, and read like a few lines of an article, but what happened? What the?
Yeah,
what happened?
That's pretty much all you can really ask is just like what happened.
Just,
long story short, and I'm aware of what I can and can't exactly say on Twitch. I can pretty much tell the gist of it here. I was playing RuneScape. Exceptionally drunk in 2012. I was 19 years of age, so obviously drinking wasn't even legal for me. But a friend of mine on the game told me to download a video game that made fun of the Columbine school shooting in 1999. And that's how it all began, because I looked at the game and I realized it was, he didn't tell me what it was. He just said, check this game out. So I Googled it, which the FBI made a big deal about later. And I looked at it. I said, no, man, I don't want anything to do with that. That doesn't look interesting at all. Because he and I and my entire family have had an interest in serial killers and stuff since I was young. I know that sounds like a strange familial interest, but my mother got her degree in criminal justice. My aunt and my grandmother all went to law school originally for criminal justice, but ended up pursuing other degrees in law. And it's just been a family interest. And so with this shared interest, he thought I might be interested in playing this game because I guess he thought that I thought it was funny or something cool, but I found the game to be in really bad taste. Freedom of speech, cool, that's whatever, but not for me. Another player on the game came up and immediately told me to call him on the phone and kill myself because talking about Columbine wasn't funny, and called me a dumbass. And I was a little bit more of a neckbeard back then, even though I actually have no beard anywhere. And I told him that I loved Columbine and I just could not wait to replicate it in the upcoming months. As a matter of fact, it's going to be on the I'm going to do it on the next anniversary, which transpired to be a Saturday. April 20th of 2013 was actually a Saturday. But I heckled the kid for a few minutes and went back to talking to my friend about the game because I just achieved the fire cape for the first time. And I was really happy about it. And we were talking about it. And
gotta love the fire cape.
Yeah, it was my first one. I used the death touch dart and cheated basically, but I wasn't going to admit that at that time. And so in the conversation, you can actually see in the FBI transcript, as soon as me and this guy quit arguing, I dropped it, started talking about my fire cape. He came up, started harassing me again, reported me. 4 days later, the SWAT team, the bomb squad, the FBI, everybody showed up at my house. The dogs, the helicopter in the sky, they climbed all over my house, FBI field agents, the whole nine. And I ended up ultimately being charged with transmitting threats to destroy buildings by means of fire and explosives, because at some point I said, if I have anything to say about it, that school might as well be gravel. And the word gravel constituted a bomb threat to them. And also transmitting threats to kill and injure the person of another. Now that one I can understand. I did transmit threats to kill and injure the person of another, but the gravel one, that was a little bit too far in my opinion.
Yeah, that's really putting the book against you.
Yeah,
on that one,
they hit me with the book in the end because
I
ultimately the day before jury deliberation, or the day before they started picking the jury, my lawyer came to see me and he point blank told me that the way that the law was written at the time. Now I had an appointed attorney. I couldn't afford a lawyer. He told me point blank, he said, the way the law is written, if you said it, it's against the law. That's all that matters. You're not protected in this. You're going to lose and you're going to get 15 years. They're going to charge you maximum sentence for both of your counts, 10 and 5. And they're going to run a consecutive, so you got to serve them back to back. So I got really cold feet about fighting this case that I was so hell-bent on, kind of clearing my name, or at least trying to explain in some way, shape, or form with all these 70-year-old prosecutors and judges who've never been on the internet, with my judge openly admitting that he doesn't know what download means. And I ended up getting sentenced to 6 years for those threats. I went in when I was 19. I got out the first time when I was 24, caught a violation for smoking some weed, went back for another 1.5 years. We can get to that in a minute because that judge doesn't sentence anybody else for that long for drug abuse on probation. But it was most certainly a wild story to say the least. And I did end up going to federal prison for quite some time. If there's any FPS
how long
Russia or
for how
Kyle
much weed?
fans, what's that? Oh, I failed a drug test and I got a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, he sentenced me to a year in prison with a mandatory 6 months halfway house. And I did serve the bulk of my time at Talladega, but I was at the FCI, not the FCC or the FPC or whatever the minimum security is called. I don't know the lettering for that because I didn't go to those. I was at the medium high security. So the prison that Kyle went to in the end, I was right next door to him. And oddly enough, this is just a fun fact, and I know this is the other podcast, but I remember sitting on the bleachers at Talladega one time with my buddy, shooting the shit about YouTube and how much we loved it and saying, man, you remember FPS Russia? Hey, man, hey, that was crazy. You remember that dude? Little did we know that in a few years he'd be 100 yards that way, you know?
I'm sure that was some crazy coincidences that you felt after you found out that Kyle was there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't know he wasn't Russian, so not going to lie.
I don't think anybody did originally.
I really did. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that because I always thought that I was the moron for not knowing that it was a character, but I really didn't.
I felt like a moron after he described to me the professional Russian T-shirt, and I was like,
the professional Russian T-shirt.
Yes, he has a shirt that says I'm a professional Russian.
Oh yeah. I remember. Yeah.
And if you're professional doing something, you get paid to do so. So he was a professional Russian.
He was technically a professional Russian. I think I can get on board with that. And I can say this much: I'm really glad that I didn't have anything in my house that he had over there at his house, because I would still be in the Hooskow to this day.
So obviously, life has changed. Talladega, look at him.
Good old Talladega.
Ooh, man, I wasn't ready.
I have this saved.
That's the medium, isn't it? I think that's the medium high right there.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I think that's the
You
one
took
that
a picture
I
off
went to.
Google to screw around.
Yeah, FCI. Yeah,
This is
that's
Talladega Federal Correctional Facility.
That was my home for 27 months right there.
That's what I Googled, and then that's what came up.
That's the one. That's the medium high right there. There is also a minimum security camp, which is where Kyle went to. But I was over there at the double razor wire sniper tower place for talking some shit. But I mean, you know what they say, real men talk shit. I couldn't help it.
Well,
they really made an example out of you. Is the way I see it.
Absolutely. Between the time of my arrest on April 8th of 2012 and my sentencing 17 months later in March or April of 2014, between that time from my arrest, when I got arrested, I couldn't remember the last time that any kind of a school shooting had really happened, except for maybe VTech, which was many years before this, relatively speaking, back then, you know. The last thing similar to that I could think of was the James Holmes in Colorado thing, you know. That had happened. But other than that, it wasn't anything. It wasn't an epidemic like it is now, you know. But in the time between, I saw in a documentary that a short documentary guy made about my case, he said there were over 50 mass shootings in America during the time between my arrest and my sentencing. So the heat was definitely on the FBI. Things were happening where guys should have clearly been caught. They bragged about it on social media multiple times and things, you know. And then the Sandy Hook happened just 2 months after I got to jail, and I knew right then that the atmosphere had changed. I was like, okay, now they have a scapegoat, or as I like to call it, the Rune scapegoat. And I figured they were going to hit me with the book.
And you were lucky that you didn't get hit with anything harder.
What's that?
You were lucky you didn't get hit with anything harder.
Yes. To be honest with you, after copping my plea and getting 6 years, my recommended maximum was 2 years. But the judge really, really wanted to make an example out of me, show people that this is not okay, et cetera, et cetera. And also simultaneously wanted to show people there was a lot of public outcry. Not a ton of it, not as much as, some other people in similar situations gotten. Justin Carter case comes to mind. He got way more publicity than I did, but it was still a pretty good amount of public outcry over my arrest because I'm sure that I'm just letting you guys know now. Somebody's going to type my name on Google in one of your comment sections. They're going to go to the government written case law motion. It is a motion where they're allowed to lie, and they're going to copy paste a ton of shit in the comments saying, look at this, his girlfriend, blah, 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 blah. All of that is addressed on my channel. We can talk about it here too, but I'm just saying, I'm giving you fair warning. Somebody's going to think they're the first person to Google my name. And they always miss the part where it says no weapons were found in my home, no money, no drawings, no plans, no pipes, no guns, not a pocket knife, not a BB gun, nothing whatsoever dangerous in my house. Not even gasoline. I had legitimately nothing that I could have used to make an attack. I was unemployed in a very bad state in life, to be honest with you. I just had no means nor desire to do it.
You just were playing video games and shooting the shit, and it went way too far.
Yep. The one time I guess I took it a little too far. In my opinion, I've said way worse than that on the game before, but I mean, I guess I get the one that hit a nerve, you know?
I think everybody has.
But do you think that's equivalent to like saying, like yelling fire in a crowded theater? Do you
To
think
a
that's the
certain extent.
equivalent? I don't think it is. Like
They're not an equal parallel, that's for sure. I
like,
will say that I found out the First Amendment is limited, and it hands down does say that threats that may be constituted as a true threat are not protected. Where it gets tricky is the Alonis versus United States case right after I pled guilty, where they raised the bar for these online threats. Now there must be proof of criminal intent. So no, it's not quite the same thing as screaming fire in a movie theater.
Okay,
but
you're not protected from making threats. Yeah, I mean, legally speaking,
yeah,
to a certain extent. It's just that, like, if I did the exact same thing today, I'm not. Don't worry, I'm not. I would not go to prison for it. It's possible that I would get some probation or a lesser charge.
That's what I was like worried about. Like this could happen again, but like
it still can.
I bet it still can. But if it's harder, you know, for that to happen, then that's a good thing, I think. Absolutely. Because I definitely don't think 6 years is a punishment for something like that. I don't think any actually amount of time in my opinion, in prison for that kind of punishment. Like,
did either of you guys go to school with somebody who actually threatened it, and like you heard them threaten it?
Yes,
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, there was a big thing on social media, this kid said on social media that he was gonna shoot up our school, and like everyone reported him immediately, and he got they shut that shit down fast.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure they were at his house in a few hours.
No, like fucking within the hour.
Yep,
it was quick.
So
like they already knew the kid. They had everyone knew everything about him. He was already on it was already reported to the news.
Mm-hmm.
And I know probably a Twitch mod or somebody is going to be in here at least at some point tonight because of how many times it's going to be talked about in the chat, whether it's shooting or bomb. No, we're not. We're not promoting. We're not saying that it's a good thing to do.
No,
who thinks it's fucked up. We're just actually having a conversation about it that's actually going to help somebody understand that, hey, this shit happens, and we're talking free speech wise of how it actually is dealt with now and that kind of stuff. Not saying that anybody should do anything.
Absolutely.
Let me preface that beforehand. So my best friend at the time, his name was Corey. Won't give his last name for obvious reasons. He was a huge motherfucker. This dude was like maybe 6'1" and like 500 pounds.
Ooh, that's a big boy.
That's a big old boy.
That's a big boy.
You would come in school and be like, Zach, don't come to school tomorrow.
Just fucking with you?
No, he was dead serious, but like not. I don't want to say enough balls to do it, but like not enough balls to actually fuck up his life and fuck up everybody else's life, which is good.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad.
But it's like, holy fucking shit, how close were we?
Probably quite close.
Yeah, like you just like put like some more testosterone in that boy. Like what happens? Like,
yeah, I in my opinion, I've said worse on that game, but like I said, this thing just started and it snowballed after I got arrested. And there was this public outcry about why is this teenager locked up? I got sidetracked earlier. And like I said, you can see in the government motion, they lied about a whole lot of things in that motion, but they did admit, because we testified to it in court, that nothing was in my home. And despite this, people still, try to piece together things about what I was going to do and this and that. And even though it's only 1%, I just like to think that people could talk to me for 2 minutes and, know that I'm not really like that. But at the end of the day, the FBI, I wasn't like this prior to my incarceration, for what it's worth. I read about 900 books in there, and my vocabulary improved significantly. I knew about 9 words prior to my arrest. At least it feels that way. And I got very acquainted with the dictionary.
Half of them were fuck, ass, and shit.
Yeah, or drug related. Yeah, that was pretty much it. It was cuss words and drug stuff was essentially my vocabulary.
Internet shit talk.
Yep, basically. Well, back then we didn't have, Kappa and all that good stuff like we have. We just had the troll face. But I do feel like the FBI felt very pressured to make themselves look better because of the outcry. They felt as though, man, we look kind of dumb. There was this awkward feeling in the air when they were tearing my house up, because it seemed like they were so gung-ho, testosterone. Man, we're about to go over here, get this kid and get all his guns and, oh, yeah, all this. And then they get there, and I had nothing in my house. I had a laptop and a phone, you know, and some illicit drugs that they couldn't charge me with because it wasn't on their search warrant, you know?
Yeah, you were in an era, like, where the internet was, like, the Wild West. Like, it was literally, like, there was, like, no law.
Yep.
It was lawless, and
it has gotten a lot different now.
And but now, like, it's so much different. Like what the internet that I grew up in, like
way different.
With what you say,
like crypto is now.
What's going on in crypto?
Like, there's no laws. There's no you can.
Like same thing with like NFTs,
unregulated.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's completely unregulated. There's nothing that you can really do to change it. It's just it is, and that's how the internet was. That's how gaming was. Everybody
this shit's going to be totally different in 15 years.
Yeah.
If the kids now couldn't if the kids now couldn't deal with the Modern Warfare 2 lobby, imagine my kids.
I know, right?
Dude,
my god.
I was the last generation of the Modern Warfare 2 generation. Because I was the young like kids in that generation. I was the squeakers. I was a squeaker. I was a squeaker during like Modern Warfare 2.
Screaming in the mic with that.
What year? What year was
Modern Warfare 2 was 2009 or 2010?
Sometime in that area.
That's
it 9 or 10. 2009.
No, so 7.
Nice. That's a little bit young there, but to your credit, though, I bet you probably don't get offended when people say crazy shit to you online.
No, well, I heard it. I heard it a lot growing up. So, like, it's just like
you were there in the era. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I just don't get. You can't joke anymore. Like, I understand. Like, I don't want people to think that like I'm homophobic or like supporting transphobia or homophobia or anything stupid like that. But like, did you guys not watch Dave Chappelle back when he had a TV show? It's the same shit he's always done. Like, what is everybody crying for? It's just he's making fun of everybody. I don't know. I thought that was so stupid.
I still need to watch that whole special. I've only seen clips of it.
Are we gonna cancel Eminem next? Hey man, in 1999, Eminem said he was gonna do something horrible to his mom.
No, I think Eminem's gotten the pass. Eminem's gotten a pass.
The song that Eminem tried to get canceled for was "Love the Way You Lie."
What? That's an old song, isn't it?
Yeah. He started getting canceled on TikTok for "Love the Way You Lie" because it talks about abuse of your significant other. And I was like, that's not even the song that he's the worst in for abuse of his significant other.
That's not what.
Not even close. Have you heard Kim?
Yes, it is. Are you talking?
But like, that's not. It's not.
It's about a toxic relationship.
The message. The message. You're not supposed to. I know, but you're not supposed to get inspired to abuse.
No, it's
a story about.
You referenced it, I guess.
Yeah, it's a story about like it going back and forth.
So all of a sudden they decided that Eminem's not allowed to discuss real life topics just because he's famous. That's kind of what it sounds like to me. He's not allowed to talk about his own artistic expression of what he's been through in his life or real topics people might be dealing with where they can feel some kind of solidarity with him and maybe get some improvement in their life. Instead, we'll all just say, oh, he said hit a girl or something and cancel.
When all they had to do was listen to 97 Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, 97 Bonnie and Clyde or Kim.
Yeah.
You remember in Kim?
Or
Kim,
Puke.
He's talking about throwing her in the lead. Yeah, Puke. Oh my God, I know, right? So many worse songs, and maybe that's just because it was like the big pop hit, you know? Maybe that's why.
Strap a motherfucking bomb across me. Wait, which one is that? But he's talking about like, that's not. Nah, you can't say that today.
I've got like 3.5 Eminem albums memorized, and other than that, I'm totally unfamiliar with his body of work. I was obsessed with him in 6th grade. I was one of those, the real Slim Shady kids. I had peroxide in my hair and all that good stuff. And I told all my friends to call me B-Rabbit. Yeah, I'm dead serious. I grew out of that phase in like a year, but I'm familiar with a great amount of his work, but anything after like Relapse and Recovery, I don't know. All I know is that I don't understand. I don't know, man. He said in an interview in like 1999 that people get upset with his lyrics. It's controversial, but all he's doing is either joking or talking about real life shit. There's no reason that you should be getting upset about this, you know? And if you're offended by it, then that's your problem, not his, is kind of what he said, you know? And there's a lot to be agreed with that, you know?
No, there's a shit ton. And I
He
have to
didn't
go
hurt
get this
anybody
video
else with
binky in a
that.
second, so I'm gonna step away in a second. But like there's so much shit with Eminem lyrics that are baffling because it's like you pick and choose at what you're going to be offended by, but you're not actually understanding what the hell he's saying. You're not understanding what the hell he's going through or what he even saw. How do you change or articulate what somebody's saying in a song that makes everything insane? Like you have songs like Spacebound, which people use as like a love song, and he literally talks about killing the person.
Yeah.
Yep. It's
And it
also
just
worth
makes you
noting that
shake your head.
sometimes lyrics aren't from just because they're from a first person point of view doesn't mean that song is even about them. Like Polly by Nirvana, that song doesn't mean that he tied up a girl and tortured her. He's singing from the perspective of somebody else because it's art. You know, it's his expression and a social commentary. That's the way that I see it.
Yeah.
It's just an art form, and the fact that people get offended over what people say is just, I don't know. Like what I did, man, I view it as a little bit different. What I did was not protected by law, and I have always stated that I understand that some punishment was warranted there. It is against the law, and I caused some trouble.
Well,
my position is that 6
is-
years is overkill. Some probation probably would have done me great because I was in a really bad spot in my life. A little probation, you know, I got the slap on the wrist, like, hey, you better get it together, kid. That probably would have sufficed for me, but
it is, and it isn't protected by law, like because of the First Amendment. So like you did have a pretty good argument, I think. But like, how did your defense hold up?
my lawyer pretty much just sat there drinking soda.
Oh, so he didn't even.
I'm pretty sure that my lawyer knew I was going up the river. He didn't really seem like.
Well, I guess you did have the 3-letter agencies all coming after you.
Yeah,
and so those are all so reliable in the eyes of the court,
exactly.
Especially at that time.
Even though the law says that's not supposed to be considered evidence. You can't say, well, the FBI arrested him, so he must have done it. That's not supposed to be self-sufficient evidence, but it often is.
Yeah, something funny, like recently in the Kyle Rittenhouse, like they brought in like CIA drone footage.
Oh my goodness.
And I was just like, wait, why is there CIA drone footage?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they were just monitoring what was going on and happened to get him.
Yeah, I guess so.
Kind of concerning though, but
I guess they monitor everything. From what I've heard and what I've seen online and stuff,
which I
monitor everything.
I'm okay with on an extent, but like, because I understand, like, if it depends what it's used for. If it's for like public security and national security and improving that, then good. But if it's being manipulated, then not good.
Certainly. Unfortunately, that's a fine line, though. That's a very fine line. If you look back to 2001 with the Patriot Act with George Bush, I mean, it was very broad and that was intentional. It basically said that the government can listen to any American anytime, anywhere that they damn well please because you're in America and it's our country. So that's that. And anything at all, they will just say it's for public safety. Anything at all. I mean, you can say like, oh, man, they were filming me in the bathroom, taking a shower. And they'll be like, oh, look, we had to gather this intel for public safety. It's bigger than this. You don't understand. I mean, there's just, they can always claim that,
Well, there's two things there. You were affected by the Patriot Act. You were turned in for free speech at the time. That turned into fire in a crowded theater, but it was free speech at the time. And then you also have this Chinese lady who saved over 10,000 dick pics from toilet cams and everything else that people were sending back and forth on phones and stuff when she worked with the NSA.
What?
Oh my God.
Hold on.
I never heard about that.
NSA woman dick pics.
Man, this is the first for me.
You didn't expect us to go here, so it is what it is.
Well, this hasn't been in the news. I don't think.
Put it in the private chat.
I'm about to shout us out in my Discord. I'm sorry, guys. I forgot, but I'm listening.
Let's see.
So FBI agents have discovered an estimated 16 million pictures of men's genitals known as dick pics during a raid on an NSA employee's home this week. Federal prosecutors have charged Hillary Wang, a national security agency employee, for 14 years.
This is still happening?
Government property and unauthorized removal and retention of classified materials.
But wait. How did they know? How did the FBI know?
You're missing out on the biggest and funniest part of the entire thing. She's obsessed with black penises and the small size of her Chinese boyfriend's penis, a fellow coworker confirmed to reporters when reached by phone.
Bro, that's an Onion article. That's an Onion article. Quit.
It's not an
Dude,
Onion
that's
article.
no.
It's not an Onion article.
That's fucked. Her poor boyfriend. He's out here trying to publicly deny the allegations and shit.
No, my dick is not smaller because I'm.
She saw 10,000 of them. Okay, of course she saw some bigger ones, guys. All right.
Yeah, like her scale is different.
That poor dude.
I feel.
And this was the
absolutely
NSA,
horrible.
you said though.
Yeah, this is NSA.
That's a 3-letter government agency right there. You know, the
There's
all-knowing,
an FBI
all-powerful.
raid on an NSA employee.
Oh,
That's
so that's why
crazy.
they know, because she's an NSA employee.
So
Yeah,
10,000.
because
I'm guessing.
them.
Has she been sentenced?
10 million. No.
She's probably going to get a reasonable slap on the wrist because females get a lot less time than men on average. Oftentimes they
Complaining it hurts,
cooperate.
but
so-
I think it's real. Like, fuck it.
Wait, what'd you say? It's on the Onion?
It's not on the Onion,
Oh.
but on Lead Stories, it's saying it's fake, that it didn't reveal 16 million dick pics. But I think it's real, man.
10,000 is still a pretty hefty.
I'm
number
gonna
either
believe
way.
it, no matter what.
Believe it because it's fucking hilarious.
I'm going to believe it because I want
I'm gonna
to.
believe,
It's
and
2021.
I'm especially gonna believe that she did it, especially out of spite of her boyfriend's small cock.
She just couldn't handle it anymore. She was losing it.
Yeah,
She just needed more
Like,
pictures
this is
of
so-
black dicks.
so
I don't
disappointing.
even know what that would be considered. Voyeurism by law? I'm not sure what crime that is unless some of the people were underage, which out of 10,000, some of them might be.
Wouldn't it be sexual harassment?
16 million.
Possibly. I think that I know
What
voyeurism is when you're
is
spying on people without them being
having
aware of it. But-
Sexual pictures of someone without consent. See,
Is it sexual harassment?
non-consensual porn, or also known as revenge porn.
Oh,
that would be
revenge porn.
fucking
Revenge
huge.
porn.
I knew there was a word for it. I was like, "There's a word for this," but
Yep.
Revenge porn. All right, man, that shit's
So-
fucked up though.
She's in one of these trusted government agencies that is, allegedly to protect us and keep us in line, keep us straight or whatever you want to call it. One of the founding fathers, I believe it was a founding father, said that he hoped that America would have some kind of government overthrow or revolution like every 50 to 70 years or something like that, stating that the government would become overzealous and over prosecutorial if one institution is left in power too long. Having just witnessed this in England, of course, the founding fathers, much closer to the source, right after the War for Independence. And let me just say, we haven't had one. So the over prosecutorial sounds like he was pretty prophetic with that.
I feel like the actual government is pretty stable, like the three branches, I feel like, but I feel like the backdrop behind it, I feel like the background is all corrupted. Everything we don't see is like everything that we're just.
Bro, I could go on and
That
on
is,
about it. Don't even get me started, to be honest with you, man. I just will say that
that
nobody
make
wants to
sense?
be nobody
Like,
wants to be the
everything-
flag bearer for this
it's
cause.
just
Nobody
like,
wants to raise
there's
their
a
flag and say,
reason-
stop with the criminals and the prosecution. Nobody wants to be that person. But I can tell you from personal experience, this is an issue I never cared about, that I never thought I would care about or knew anything about. The prison system is corrupt, particularly the federal one. It's a money trap. They don't make you. They let you make military battle dress uniforms for 3 cents an hour. Saves them tons of money, outrageous amounts of money. They don't have to give you any kind of insurance or paid sick leave or anything. If you go to a sick call there, they tell you, get some ibuprofen off of the commissary. That'll be $2. They charge you $2 to tell you to buy some commissary. It's completely crooked from the ground up. Supervised release is an absolute trap. I'm sure that Kyle knows probably a pretty good bit about that. It's a trap from the start. 3 drug tests a week for people that are coming out of prison into restitution debts, fines they have to pay, community service they have to do, and they still have to pay their court fines and restitution, and they don't have any skills. They just got out of prison. They're a convicted felon.
Yeah.
What do? They sell drugs or they do drugs.
Yeah, and if they do drugs, they're probably going through they're probably low on money, so they're suffering like financial issues, so they have all that stress on them, and they're probably going through withdrawals whenever they can't afford drugs, depending on the drug.
And if they can't come up with the money, then they're gonna go back to prison anyway.
Yeah, and drugs are, I think
bad. Okay.
well, drugs are bad. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Can we just keep doing that? Okay.
Well,
Can we get one more?
you're setting them up for.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, cool.
You're
All
setting
right.
them up for
That's
failure
only
with
one.
supervisor release, man. It was luckily very, very, I mean, not luckily. I guess it really wouldn't have made a damn to me because this time I finished my probation without a warning, a slap on the cheek, not a missed phone call, not a missed appointment, absolutely nothing. But coronavirus hit as soon as I got home from the halfway house. And so the 3 times a week drug testing was not happening for me.
That's shitty timing.
Well,
actually, wait. Not
I'd
for,
rather be locked in a
Never
house
mind.
with my wife and a computer.
I meant, well, I don't know. It's just
Out of
when you went
prison-
from
out
one
of
shitty
prison
time
into
to another
lockdown.
shitty time.
Yeah, basically from lockdown to lockdown.
But I kind of liked lockdown. I liked lockdown personally.
I'm
Like,
a RuneScape
but-
player, man.
but that's
it
just
was
me.
no different. No
yeah,
different for me.
exactly. I'm.
I'll go outside.
Well, I guess
I'll
you
play
went from
RuneScape.
you just came from prison. You came from like practice.
Yep,
Like you
exactly.
came from hardcore mode.
Yep,
actually.
I came from hardcore on the peaceful difficulty, and I was like, "We're chilling. I got free world food and a computer and internet, and I got my wife."
They're like, damn, you let me
this
go
is
to the
great.
grocery store? Shit.
Yep. And just like Shawshank Redemption, man, when I got a job when I got out, I did finally manage to find. It's very difficult for me to find employment, as I'm sure you can imagine. I am on paper a convicted domestic terrorist, so
dude, right
that
now,
doesn't
it's
look
hard
good.
to find employment if you are unemployed. Like, and I can't imagine.
Yep.
Like, trying to find a job while being a felon and being unemployed. Like that's.
Yep, I was working at Ashley Furniture, man. When I was at the halfway house, they gave me a chance. I was cutting wood, making furniture. Pretty much permanently ruined my back, but it got me the apartment.
Yo, shout out to Ashley Furniture. Yo,
we love you, Ashley.
They gave you the come up.
Yeah, they really did. They for real did. They gave me a chance, man. Nobody else would, and I did appreciate it. But the labor was hard.
Yeah, once you get a job, it's a lot easier to get another job.
Yeah, now I've got some work history again because I did have a very obvious 7-year gap right here. Like,
and if you're going from one job to another, like if you can show that you're working at another place and you've been working there for a while, then that's really good. Then if you're coming in just unemployed, then like I worked a while ago.
Thankfully, I have an amazing Twitch community, and that took off fairly well because I stood on the shoulders of giants that lifted me up. Shout out to Moplox, Charlie, aka Moist Critical, Silent Core, Lockdown 23-1, Crumb, all the boys that put me on, tons of them. And I guarantee you I just left out a few names right there, and they're going to be mad at me, but I'm sorry, guys. I'm just, listing off a few. And because of already well-established YouTubers and Twitch streamers, it was almost essentially handed to me, by them telling the stories. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm rich because I'm definitely not, but I pay the bills. I keep my daughter and my wife and myself fed and put gas in the car, and I'm a happy camper,
Yeah.
I'm not really much of a ritzy guy. I never have been. I still got this old tattered up falling in reverse shirt, even though I knew I was coming on a podcast. And I was like, all the rest of my shirts are just as tattered.
I'm trying to think. I heard.
I apologize about the baby crying, so I'm trying to cut in here when I get a chance.
It's all good, man.
She was sleeping and got woken up by something. I don't know what the fuck's going on. So I'm muting myself every now and then. But
I understand. My daughter does the same thing, and typically she either wants like 4 more ounces or she's just being a crazy baby.
How many kids do you have?
Me, just one.
Nice.
I have a daughter now. She is 18 months old.
Does it scare you after something that you said and you went to jail for, looking at your kid and being like, did it change how you actually perceived parenthood and that kind of stuff?
Man, I will say that all the cliches that the old people say, about how having a kid changes you and stuff, that was absolutely true. I always thought it was just some dumb shit that, old people like to say, but it was definitely true. Obviously, school shootings are a more real thing in my mind, I guess. I was fresh out of high school when I got arrested. I've been out of high school for 10 months when I got arrested. So now seeing it from a parent perspective, I mean, most assuredly it's a little more concerning, but don't get me wrong. I don't think if some kid at my daughter's school said that and then they rated him and he had nothing and it was a Saturday and all this stuff. I mean, obviously I'm biased here. I'm going to be like, look, give the kid a slap on the wrist here. Come on, but it's not something I particularly worry about, even though it's on the rise. Even though school shootings have been on the rise since the day I got arrested, it seems like it's not something I'm particularly worried about. I hate that you had to leave right in the middle of the question, but I understand how it is, man.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't have gone to prison for that long, no, I wouldn't have met my wife. I wouldn't have a baby today. I probably wouldn't have ended up sober. So,
do you have any crazy prison stories?
Oh man, I got. However, 365 times 6 is how many crazy prison stories I've got.
We have time. So like,
well, I was thinking of one earlier because I was thinking about doing my next YouTube video on this, and I probably still will. But somebody asked me earlier about the craziest cellmate I ever had because, unbeknownst to many, despite the fact that legally this is not supposed to happen, a significant percentage of people in prison are mentally ill and are not truly benefiting from it in the way that it's designed to do. They're not getting any help. They need medication, counseling, therapy, and they need to get a grip on their psychosis because there are truly, truly diseased men in there that don't understand the concept of right and wrong, completely mentally ill, schizophrenic, everything that you can imagine, and had no concept of what they were doing being wrong.
Yeah, that makes me think of something like, so there's also a very, very big homeless problem in America. The huge population of California is homeless. Huge population of the coast is homeless. And a lot of them are mentally ill.
Absolutely.
And they can't get the health care that they need
to actually get better.
Yeah, exactly. Because mental health care is so expensive in this country. And insurance is expensive. And I think that system just needs to, I don't know. What do you think about Canada's healthcare system?
Oh man, I typically stay away from politics for what it's worth. I don't ever. Everybody always asks me stuff in my Twitch chat about politics.
I don't know, but
the healthcare thing is unfortunately very partisan, especially here in the South where I live. Personally, I'll say this much.
I know exactly
if they wanted to raise my taxes by a few percent and build it into the healthcare system, I personally would be okay with it. I think it's worked out great in Canada,
that's more the question
Norway,
that's more the question I would wanted to ask. How would you feel if your taxes just got raised a little bit, and then what do you know? You don't have to pay for I don't know exactly how.
I'd be thrilled.
I don't know.
I don't have it.
Exactly.
Why isn't it made so that way? The money that you put in, and I know we don't want to get into politics, but basically,
I'm okay with it.
But you put in the money yourself, and you are only allowed to use that money.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So the money that you put in, say,
your tax
for your family, your taxes, the money that you put in, that is the money that you're allowed for healthcare before you have to pay more yourself.
Does that amount to the same thing in the end?
I think in all honesty, it would probably amount to more people on the middle taking care of themselves, but probably end up screwing the lower end. And obviously the upper end would still have whatever healthcare they want regardless.
Right. I'll definitely say if I put 3% of my income this whole year into a bank account specifically for my healthcare, I would not be able to afford even a colonoscopy next year. I know that, I had one not too terribly long ago, and they charged me quite a good sum of money that I'm going to be paying off for a long time for a 30-minute procedure to tell me I don't know. So I can't imagine. My neck
surgery was $40,000, so I could completely understand.
Yeah,
and I'm looking at having a second one that I have to pay for myself.
Exactly, man. That'd be a drop in my whole income. 10% of my income a year would have been a drop in the bucket to this procedure, Now, if it was some kind of backing to it, but I guess that would end up being basically what we were talking about would be the government covers it because of the tax that you paid.
Yeah.
I guess. We were originally talking about mentally ill people and the help that they don't get. He asked me if I had any wild prison stories. Maybe this one's not too terribly crazy. It's more of just a character kind of story, I guess. Kind of like how everybody's all obsessed with Snow, I can't even remember this guy's name now. And if I did, I probably wouldn't have shouted it out anyways. I always just called him crazy. As I was discussing with Void, there is definitely a high percentage of mental illness in prison. Yeah. People that do not belong there, they're getting nothing from it. They're not going to learn a lesson from it. They're going to go out there and commit crimes again because they're not getting the proper therapy and medication that they need, particularly schizophrenic people. And I'm not against schizophrenics or whatever. Don't think that I'm being mean to schizophrenic people, but we all know that people with severe schizophrenia need to take their medication, man. They will lose grip on reality, and it's not their fault. It's an illness, and they put a highly schizophrenic individual with me in solitary confinement. Well, not solitary. It's the shoe. I'm sure you guys know about the shoe, right? The shoe, the whole, it's a bunk bed and a toilet, and it's a punishment bay. And I was in there because I got caught with a rolling paper. When we would smoke cigarettes or K2 Spice or weed or whatever, we'd take a brown napkin, put jelly and syrup on it. I don't know if you guys have heard of that or not. And a CO actually wrote me up for that. Yeah, it kind of tastes like a Swisher Sweet, believe it or not. You put like a little bit of syrup and a little bit of instant coffee, and it burns really, really slow. It actually kind of tastes like a cigar, a brown napkin, like one of the ones out of a dispenser. And we had smoked that. And I got caught with one that I'd already pre-cut out and put the syrup on it and everything. It was ready to go. And I got caught, got thrown on the shoe. 2 days later, they knock on my door and they say, "Hey, Pillault, you're taking a celly." So I was like, okay, cool. I'm staying on the bottom rack. That's fine. And they opened the door, and in walked about a 5-foot flat, perfectly round little Hispanic guy. I think he was 30, but his bald patch was like behind my headset right here. Like he was shining right there. And as soon as he walked in the door, I knew he was mentally ill. And because so many people in there and a lot of schizophrenic people, a lot of mentally screwed up people.
Is this crazy?
Yeah. This is crazy. And he had what I call the what the fuck eye. They always got one eyebrow kind of like this, and they're looking all deranged, you know? They kind of always have that one eyebrow up, like they're just kind of scared and kind of on edge, but they also don't want you to mess with them, so they're trying to look tough at the same time. And I was like, oh, hell no. Hell no, they're not putting this dude in my cell. I'll give him a chance. You know, maybe he's not that gone, but we'll see. And I was like, hey, man, what's up, dude? I'm Josh. And he was like, Josh? You know what? I remember why I can't remember his name, because he didn't fucking tell me. I knew his last name because the guards told me. That's what it was. But I was like, hey, man, good to meet you, dude. I'm Josh. You know, and he was like, Josh? Okay, hi. And I was like, oh, dear Lord, you got to be kidding me. This dude is, oh, my goodness. He's like, is he catatonic?
You got bunked with the crazy guy.
Yeah. I just straight up called him crazy all the time. Shout out to my boy Chris in the chat. And this dude, man, okay, so in the shoot in there, they had these like, what's the word? Perforated metal sheets over the lights, right? So you can't break the light bulbs or fucking with the wiring or anything like that, you know? And at the end of the day, we would take the towels that they gave us from our shower and we would stick pencils in the perforated holes and drape the towel down, you know? And there was a table directly underneath it. So the whole room was this nice glowing dark, you know, because they don't ever turn the lights off in there. It's nice and glowing and kind of orange, the color of the towels. And then the desk is fully illuminated, you know, it's super bright. And they handed out the commissary sheet to get very limited commissary in the shoe. And the dude sat down at the table with a pencil and told me he couldn't see because of the lights. And I was like, huh? He was like, I can't see my paper because the light, the towel covers the light. And I was like, if I move that, you're gonna have the exact same amount of light. And he was like, I just can't see. I can't see. Like he talked like Milton, bro. I just thought of that. He sounded like Milton off Office Space. It is, man. Luckily,
that's so sad
that he was doing 2 years. He was doing 2 years. And also I did wrangle out of him eventually that on the street he takes medication, but the feds wouldn't give it to him. It happens all the time.
But like that person isn't getting rehabilitated.
Nope.
No, they're just like that entire time that they're spending there, like they aren't.
It's just not wasting their lives. Them. It doesn't improve them at all. It doesn't improve their families. It's wasting taxpayer dollars because that dude was not learning a lesson in there. When he gets out on the street and gets some therapy and some medication like he needs, maybe, you know? Man, I remember watching this dude short circuit. He actually, like, I don't know if this is a thing. Maybe it was a tick and I just didn't know what it was. Everybody forgive me for having sleep pants on. This dude was going to climb up the ladder to get on his bunk, right? Damn, I went out of focus. He stopped and was standing right next to me, right? He was standing in front of me like this, and I'm sitting there laying on the bed like, the fuck is he about to do? I thought he was climbing up the ladder, and he stops, and he's staring off into space, and he slapped his face, touched his elbow, grabbed his dick, slapped his face, touched his elbow, grabbed his dick. He just sat there doing this, like for like 5 minutes straight, dude. And I was just like, I'm not sleeping tonight. As soon as the cops come around, I'm telling them to get him out of here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Sometimes he'd go back and forth for a second, and he's just sitting there with this look on his face, like he has to do it, or he'll summon Satan, like he's saving the world right now. He must maintain his focus. That's what I mean. That's damn near what he was doing with the prison version. You know, slap your elbow, slap your dick, flip them off, or whatever. And he, that was my breaking point, dude. First off, by the way, I did lift the towel for him. I wasn't about to like go crazy on this dude. And plus, schizophrenics will kill you in your sleep, probably. I saw a schizophrenic dude in county jail put a bunch of toothpaste tubes in a sock and just wail on this dude in his sleep that he had never spoken to before for no reason. Just
he was a chomo. That's the only reason.
The guy that swung the sock might have been. We didn't know shit about him, but he was thrown off. But the dude that was asleep was cool. He was in for Xanax or something. He's like a 55-year-old man. Got caught with some Xanax on a Federal Reserve highway or whatever. The Natchez Trace, you know, it's federal automatically there. And
I know there probably weren't any chomos, but do you have any chomo stories? Were there any in your 6 years?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, man. I don't exactly want to talk about what the dude did, but he had two victims.
What happened to him?
Yeah, exactly. One was young and one was really, really old, his two victims, right? And he was there he got to Talladega and he was repping, he's Native American. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but all crimes on Native American land are federal. So if you go to prison for a crime that you committed on Native American land, it's automatically federal, even if it's just DUI or whatever.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Oh, you know a little something about that, huh?
Well, think about my state. I told.
Oh yeah, you stay in Oklahoma. Yeah, you would know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
it's half a Native reserve.
It's all federal reserve, basically.
Any crime that is committed there is automatically federal. So this dude, despite the fact that his case typically would not have gone federal, it was federal. And he got to Talladega repping, oh yeah, man, I'm from Reno reservation, blah, 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 Reno, Nevada, blah, blah, blah. And we already had our flags up a little bit on that one because we were like, man, he is really far away from home. And the farther west that you go, the more violent the prisons get, basically. California and Nevada, that shit is insane out there. The killing fields, And don't get me wrong, we've got plenty of reputable, deadly prisons over here too. Atlanta USP in the 90s and all kinds of crazy shit. But obviously, the area where he should have been sent, he would have got his head cut off as soon as he got off the bus. They'd have known who he was immediately. But everybody keeps asking what he's in for, and he's talking about, I did this tax evasion, man. I was on the Native American reservation, and it was tax evasion, or not tax evasion. Money laundering,
probably.
Yeah, it's
like
the thing where
I say like I know.
He was saying it was money laundering. He had a bunch of money from doing illegal shit, and he was trying to make it look like it was legal money. It was money laundering.
Okay, yeah.
That's what his side of the story was. Well, needless to say, about 2 minutes into that, everybody starts pressing like, "Damn, man, where were you getting the money you were laundering?" He was like, "Man, I was slinging dope, bro." They were like, "So you were slinging dope, didn't get caught for that? You got caught money laundering? You were such a big drug dealer that you had to money launder? How old are you?" He was like 20. And he was just a skinny little Native American kid. He had a really soft voice. He talked like this. He wasn't gay, by the way. I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. He had a very soft, creepy voice.
Yeah,
because they're mentally ill, bro. Like, the Mo's are because they're mentally ill. They're fucked in the head.
You think that's what the effeminate part comes from?
Oh no! I just think in my personal opinion, I wouldn't consider it so much effeminate, although we would consider it that way as grown men. More so childlike, a state of arrested development.
I see what you mean.
More what I consider it. Gotcha. More so than effeminate.
Okay, so
more arrested development up here.
See, I see what them trying. I just see it kind of. Okay, yeah. So it's just more like you. I think of Taylor like
there's still 8 here. There's still 8 in here, and so I think it's all good.
You know what I mean, Zach?
Yeah. You got there.
Yeah.
Wait, what'd you say?
You dropped your balls, sir.
Yeah, it's like that.
Oh dear God.
No, I'm thinking of Taylor, what Taylor said on PK, but
fucked up Taylor jokes.
In the end, whenever the COs came around, by the way, with Crazy, he went out to wreck the next morning after his short circuit. I did not sleep that entire night because I already knew, and he didn't get up or nothing either. I mean, he just went there and went to sleep like normal. But of course, I was sitting up there like, oh hell no, with my shoes on and everything. He went out to wreck in the morning, and as soon as he went out, when they came back around, I knocked on the door and I was like, yeah, you're typically not even supposed to do this. I should have just beat the guy's ass by prison rules. That's not something I'm into, and for all I know, he could have beat the shit out of me. I'm not the kind of guy that assumes I can win any fight, I'm not young and 18 anymore and have a huge ego anymore. I've gotten my ass kicked a few times now, and I knocked on the window. I was like, hey, man, y'all gonna have to get this dude out of my cell, bro. I'm either gonna refuse him or me and him are about to fight when we get back in here, bro, because I can't have this dude in my cell. And they were like, dude, 4 people have told us this now. We'll get him. All right. And I'm like, why the fuck did you give him to me then? If y'all know this dude's crazy and throw it off, put him in a solo cell, man. Oh, we're full up. They had a whole row of open bunks. They just didn't want to use them because then they'd have to unlock that gate every time they wanted to pass out food. So they were sticking a mentally ill, deranged, schizophrenic man into cells with other people out of laziness and for literally no other reason, just that they didn't want to have to open one more gate when they were passing out the food. Well, and they ended up taking him out. And when they opened the door and they said, they opened the door and they were like, whatever, Hispanic last name, pack up your stuff. We got another cell for you. He looked at me and I thought he was going to say something to me. And he smiled at me for the first time and he just packed up and left. And so I was like, I was wondering if this dude was really trying to just pull one over on him. You know what I mean? Some people throw those mentally ill schemes out there, end up getting their cases overturned and stuff like that, or get a cell to themselves. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't know. But I also will say that I've never seen anybody that can fake that eyebrow. That's genetic as fuck. Because it's not him making that face. It's like his eyebrow is literally.
I've seen someone with it, and we used to call him Crazy Eye too. That's funny.
So
exactly.
This was in school though. This is elementary school.
The way to make head, elbow, touch your dick so much better is taking Blue Chew. Many men struggle in the bedroom due to mental health, physical problems, and the want to perform better. With new medicine due to the fucking pandemic, you can now get medicines like tadalafil and sildenafil sent straight to your door without anyone knowing what it is. They take the time to ask you what your problems are, so that way they know it's safe for you to take. And the best part is the first month is free. Use our link down in the description and in the chat.
And then you won't have to slap your dick to make it stand.
And then you don't have to slap your dick.
It'll be ready anytime you're ready.
So make sure to get your free month. Oh, I copied and pasted the wrong one. I'm a fucking idiot.
Put your face again.
I did the dick pic thing.
There you go, boys. Use those links. So, yes. Go check out Blue Chew. They're fucking awesome. Be veiny with us. Robin Hood. You know, everyone from your mom to Woody to your grandpa is trading crypto and stocks right now using Robinhood. Join Robinhood using our link in the description or in the chat and sell all of it for your down payment to the moon. You have the chance to get a stock worth $1 to $500 just by signing up using our link. Come join Real Men Talk Shit and millions of others using Robinhood as their crypto trading application. And also, we have Void's favorite sponsor, Moonwalker.
We do. Oh, yeah.
CBD and Delta 8.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, my favorite.
Exactly. It's your favorite. I know it's your favorite because you're smoking up all the time.
Yeah.
So make sure to use Real Men Talk Shit or RMTS at checkout. So that way you're able to get a nice little discount. I think it's like 10%, which is really
They should
nice.
send me flour.
They have flour. Go buy some.
They should send me some.
We're not big enough to get shipments from our sponsors yet. I apologize.
Just keep at it.
Let me have a big ego.
So the chat says, when are we saying a RuneScape felon coin?
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's one of your people.
I guess having your own.
It is one of my people, but I don't. Oh, okay. He's talking about a crypto. Yeah, I don't see that happening, Techno. Good to see you again, buddy. I definitely don't see that happening. I know pretty much nothing about it. All I know is that when I got arrested, I had 7 Bitcoin in my digital wallet. That's all I know. So.
Oh, I hope that you still have that digital wallet.
Was not my solo only exclusive digital wallet. It was 4 of us that have been ordering off of Silk Road. So I got to figure out which one of my friends moved to the Bahamas because at least 2 of those Bitcoins were mine. But they were like, I think we paid $12 each, $22 each, something like that for them for full Bitcoins back then in 2011 or so. We just never got around to using the rest of them. So whichever one of my friends is now living in the Bahamas, I'm sure I need to figure out.
I've never gone around like the Tor browser or anything like that, or like around the Silk Road.
I bet that the guy who, the FBI forensic analysis for my computer, the analyst, I bet that he was like, he saw Tor on my computer and was like, oh yeah, this is about to get a whole lot dirtier. Probably leaned over to his buddy. Hey man, this dude is 19 years old, nerdy computer kid. He's got Tor on his computer and there is absolutely no porn on his computer at all. Bullshit. I don't believe that because you know motherfuckers with Tor. You know,
yeah,
there's only 3 things people use Tor for. The naughty pictures, like assassins and drugs. That's pretty much it. Assassins/weapons. So,
man, I'm so happy that I don't have to get my drugs that way. I'm so happy I can get my drugs at either at Moonwalker.
Moonwalker.
Yeah, or at my local dispensary. Like it's how it should be.
Yeah, we were just ordering them offline to be idiots and because they were dirt cheap and powerful. So we were out there just trying to turn a profit. And
I can imagine like because you got arrested like at my age. I can't like I could definitely see myself doing some of this like doing something like that online, especially at like during that time. Like,
yeah, 2012 was a different beast, man. I don't really know exactly what happened, but everybody just decided that you're not allowed to say anything even remotely upsetting or controversial. No hot takes. I don't get it. I don't know, man. I don't fully understand it. You're not allowed to joke anymore. Or you are allowed to joke, but it depends on who you're joking about. Some groups can be made fun of, but other groups cannot be, which is,
That's why we take back the word retard. Retard is allowed to be used in this chat. I don't give a fuck.
Yes, because we're retarded.
It's actually a music term, too, to slow down the tempo. Retardando.
If I can't call myself a retard, there's a problem.
It is a different word.
True. I think it's spelled with an I in music.
Yeah.
But, same gist here. Same gist.
Yeah,
I'm a retardo. Well, see, look, I'm Latin now.
Oh, nice. Hey, look, we can come up with retard in 17 different languages now.
that
That's
Latin?
awesome.
No, it's not.
It is now.
It is now, though.
The first
I'm
new
sure there
word in
wasn't a
Latin
word
in
for
2000
I was
years.
like, I don't think that's Latin.
Oh, I didn't know that, Chris. Oh, sorry. I just read Twitch chat like it was my stream.
It's all good. Ticker says, yes, we are retarded. Exactly. We are all retarded. We are PKA fans. Therefore,
that
we
wasn't
are
a thing when I
retarded.
got locked up either, by the way. The fact that you couldn't say retard and stuff. Like, I mean, obviously slurs were already, you know, that was never something that was part of my vocabulary. That wasn't part of my trolling. Even though, and I remember somebody accused me of that recently, and I actually have the entire transcript of everything for 3 days that I said on RuneScape, leading up to the threats, including the threats, because Jagex, the company that runs RuneScape, was subpoenaed by the FBI to give them my chat records, and it turns out they keep about 3 to 4 days of every account's chat logs, which is good to know for the future, I guess, for other people. And I point blank showed him, I was like, look, dude, even if my gnarliest trolling, I was never on that. I wasn't using any kind of slurs and stuff like that, but it's not necessarily, I don't know how to put it, man. It's not even, I don't know how to put it, man. If other people say it, I guess, you know, that's their problem. I choose not to, but I don't know how to put it, man. You just can't say anything even mildly offensive now. Back then, it was for the words that we actually considered offensive, you know, like things that had a history to them.
Yeah,
like that saying cunt was the biggest fucking problem in the world because that's the worst word you could fucking say.
Yeah.
Now cunt is okay and retard isn't, and I just don't fucking understand.
I think that's because Australians have become less Aboriginal, and we've accepted them.
Become predominant.
We've accepted them more, yeah, because they finally got the internet and they finally joined us
in 2020.
Yeah, now we have tickers. Now we're allowed to say cunt because we have our token Australian in the chat.
Hey, thank you for everything you do for us, my guy. Keeping a few people a little lighthearted up here in the States.
Got to mod my chat, tickers. Love you to death, brother.
I was gonna say that the Chappelle thing. No, wait, that was earlier. The Chappelle thing. This Eminem thing that we were talking about.
Yeah.
How come he gets away with it, but other people say something similar to that effect and they're canceled? Well, now it could be time frame. He said a lot of his worst shit in the 90s.
I don't think confronting it at all.
Yeah, true. If he did confront it, I think it'd be a lot worse because then he would be directly addressing it.
Yeah, when people have called him out like that in the past, he gets pretty pissed about it, and he's like, "I can say whatever the fuck I want," you know. It's basically what he says. Although the CIA did turn up at his house for the Mosh song when he said "fuck dead presidents," I'd rather see the president dead. When Bush was in office, the CIA did come talk to him about that.
Yep.
And he didn't get in trouble for it, by the way. I said to a guy that lived in Virginia that I was going to go into my local school 6 months from now and hurt people, and it could be gravel. And I went to prison for a long time. And also, guys, I would like to quickly state, I'm just going to throw it out there. The case is not quite as black and white as it seems in like a podcast format with, you know, an hour or two to talk about it. My life was fucked up, man. I was going through a pretty bad depression at the time. I was drinking very, very heavily. I was drunk every single day. I didn't have a job. It definitely didn't look good on paper, you know, and then to come to find out that my family's interested in serial killers and stuff like that. You know, I'm the first one to admit that, like, when you look at certain aspects of it, it definitely is like, what the fuck, man? What was going on with this kid? I was not a model citizen by any means. And thankfully I wasn't, because I went to prison. Yes.
Yeah. My mind like cycles and like hyper focuses on things like serial killers, conspiracy theories, and just like hyper focuses on them for some reason. Because
have you seen Mindhunters?
No, I haven't.
No, I haven't heard. It's awesome.
Yeah, you guys need to both watch it. But it's amazing.
It'll like just hyper focus on things like that because it's like, now I want to figure out what the fuck they decided to do and how their mind works and everything else.
Zach, you thought You was good?
You is good.
Mindhunters is really good.
Don't bash You. You is one.
I'm not bashing You at all. Yeah,
you like it better than You?
Yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah, I like
the chat's agreeing.
Really fucking good.
Yep. Also, what's up, Jerry's? That's one of my best friends. Sorry,
it's all good. I was going to tell you hi as soon as we swap topics, but yeah, like I think it's crazy because it's
really good.
The weirdest fucking thing in the world, just being able to hyper focus, and it falls to the weirdest fucking things.
Absolutely. Yep. And it doesn't mean that you're interested. And much like you said, man, the thing that I was trying to emphasize, that my interest went as far as what went wrong. What could my mother's college thesis paper was on the childhood commonalities of serial killers, nature versus nurture. Like, this is a family thing here that I knew about serial killers. And
Apparently.
I had been making money. I'm ashamed to admit this now because now it's a bunch of 12-year-olds. But at one point in time, it was pretty creative. People are going to disagree, but I got on 4chan for the first time in like 2006, 2007. So I've been on the gnarliest part of the surface internet for quite some time, which influenced my humor, of course, to the point that I thought something that offensive was funny. But my whole thing about it is what went wrong. And I would make money on these 4chan threads. I actually would post my PayPal back before, doxing and swatting was a thing, although I got swatted. It wasn't for a prank. It was for my prank, not him. I would go on there and I would post my PayPal and I would post a picture of 8 serial killers, 1 through 8. Or in one case, one of them was Columbine. This is how I met the guy that wanted me to download the game and why he misunderstood my interest, I guess. Mm-hmm. He told me to download the game and all that good stuff. But on 4chan, I used to make money on my PayPal because I would say, pick a number 1 through 8 and I'll give you pictures and I'll tell all about it. And I would tell a story of the killers in the 4chan thread and people would love it, man. I'd make like $100, and on a weekend just chilling, typing on 4chan. And it was fun and just goofy, And I did have graphic pictures that I got off of gore websites. Some of them I got off of 4chan just from taking it here and reposting it here. That's how the website kind of works. And let me tell you, that formula right there did not look good on paper. I still don't think that outweighs the other side of the scale. My little brother would have been at the school on the day in question if the day wasn't a Saturday. Nothing in my house, no bombs, no weapons, no drawings. 3 mental evaluations all said that I was not a danger to myself or to others. Multiple teachers from my high school wrote character reference letters to the judge saying they knew I would never do anything like this. And the assistant principal of my middle school sat front row at my sentencing hearing and waved at me when I walked in the door, gave me a big thumbs up because he knew how I was. I had a bad temper and I was a little neckbeard asshole and I used to pop off at the mouth if I got mad. And he knew, and they all knew that. And he just waved at me, gave me a thumbs up. The guy he would have probably been at the high school that day. He worked at the middle school. He's up there all the time. And he clearly didn't think his life was in danger that day. He's up here supporting me and the judge completely ignored it.
No, it's crazy because I could have gone down the same path in the same exact shit because in 8th grade, I was suspended for an entire month of school. I had a fist fight on my birthday and broke somebody's orbital bone. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I didn't get charges pressed on me for that, which was really fucking nice. Won that fight, got jumped by 5 people and broke an orbital bone. I think I win.
Hell yeah, man. Rock and roll.
And they didn't check me, which is crazy. I had a knife in my pocket because I knew I was going to get jumped. And I was from an inner city and I moved to the sticks. So I had a knife on me and I fucking had it in my hand. And I hit the kid with a knife in my hand and fucking broke his orbital bone.
You had that backing then, huh? It's like whenever you hold a lighter in your hand. Yeah. No give at all.
So that happened. And then I got fucking suspended for gang relations.
What?
Because instead of walking around by myself, I found 2 of the coolest kids with me. And I just started having a clique with me at all times. And then we started writing graffiti on our notebooks and we started writing graffiti on our arm and carried a bandana in our pocket. And all of a sudden we were a gang.
Now your crew is a gang.
Yeah.
What is it? Just a crew having trends and memes amongst themselves.
You did refer to it as a crew, but
his squad.
I didn't call it a clique. I didn't call it a gang. I didn't call it anything. It was
well, you
what
did
it was.
say clique. You said you kind of developed a clique.
But like, it's so weird.
Still separate than being an official gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
Especially with you being were you in middle school, high school at that point? You said?
I was in middle school. I was in 8th grade.
No, I think you were dangerous.
I get that a lot.
That word specifically, I think you were dangerous. I think you were dangerous to society and the rest of your school alumni.
Yep. I'm going to have to agree with him, man. Because I'm on the internet and I'm allowed to believe whatever I want to believe with no facts or evidence.
Exactly.
2021.
I had state police at my school telling me that I was a gang member from the city that I grew up in. So
see, and if the state's to believe,
yeah,
they thought you extended the chapter out to the. Oh my god, I bet they were watching you like a hawk, dude.
See, if we're gonna trust the police and the state, then you are a gang.
Actually, technically, if you're gonna trust what I say, then 100%, I'm a gang member. How the fuck can I raise my kids?
I'm trusting you. Yeah, you're a gang member.
How can I? How can
Or,
I be
or
a single
were
dad
at
who
least.
raises my kids?
You at least were. You used to be a gang member back
I'm
in
never
your
gonna.
younger days.
Anytime for the rest of my life that a police officer point blank tells me something, I'm probably just gonna assume the opposite is true after my experience. I'm not one of the all cops are bastards people. I'm not. I don't think policemen are bad people at all. I don't overgeneralize like that. But I will say that having now been victim to this, I'm aware of the fact that they can do anything that they want. Who will guard the guardians? I can't ever remember the Latin phrase for it. It's quiet custodes ipset custodes or something. It means who's going to guard the guardians. Whoever's in power can do whatever the fuck they want because there's nobody to stop them. When America's doing this to you, you know what they tell you? Oh, you can sue them. Yeah. Okay, I sue them and then go to his boss. Great. Yeah, that's not crooked or anything, so it never gets any better, man. It's just this constant revolving door of shit because who will guard the guardians? It never gets any better.
I found the keys custodite epos custodos or custodes, or how the fuck you say that?
It means who will guard the guardians. Pretty much means
yeah.
Anybody, whoever's in charge can do whatever the hell they want. So whatever legal things they are not supposed to do, cops are not beholden to it. They're simply not. Very rarely, once in a while, when there is an egregious breach of what they're supposed to do, they have no choice but to prosecute them. Then they will. But typically, man, no. I mean, I have word from some very good sources that I believe that I'm not saying are true, that there were some felonies committed by the prosecution in my case to make me go to prison. Some malicious prosecution.
I wouldn't be surprised. And I bet that happens a lot more than you think.
Oh, I'm sure.
Or than most people think.
2 weeks before my sentencing hearing, my lawyer, the prosecutors, and the judge were seen in public having a steak dinner. That's probably the night that my sentence got decided for real. That's probably the night that it really went down. They probably had a couple beers and they said, look, how are we going to do this? We know that this story's gotten out of control. We got to do something. Percy, I'm not trying to give him the whole 10, but we got to look like we did the right thing here. What are we going to do? Okay, I'm going to triple him. I'll give 6 because my guideline max was 6 months and I was sentenced to 72. All right, I'm sorry. 2 years was my guideline max.
Wait, how long ago did you get out?
This time I got out July of 2019. So I've been out a little over 2 years now.
Okay. Wow.
Finished probation just a few months ago, and like 2 days later, moved to New Orleans.
Wow, that's incredible. That's so weird to think about. Like in that short amount of time, that like that's it. That's what your reality's been.
Yeah.
Like wow, that's
I just got off probation. It was almost 9 years. This past obviously October 8th.
You've done a lot of catching up.
I've been trying, man. It's mostly my Twitch chat and the boys that y'all see typing over here. They've helped me out a lot and trying to catch up. And like we were talking about beforehand, I just got into Minecraft. That is a fucking excellent game, and I never get into games.
Dude, I've been trying to tell Zach.
I only play RuneScape. That's the only game I've ever liked, and Minecraft slaps, man. That game.
Minecraft slaps. That's right,
dude. It does. I thought that was some stupid.
I already told
game.
You. I would. Dude,
that's what I've been
play
telling Zach.
Pixelmon. I will not play Minecraft. It just doesn't interest me.
Because you think it's a dumb baby game, but it's not a dumb baby game, dude.
I thought that too. It's so complex and intricate.
Exactly. It's actually fucking cool.
We don't have to make a believer out of you, man. If you don't want to play it, obviously, you might not like it. Everybody different. I play old school RuneScape.
He won't even try it.
Video game taste.
This bitch won't even try it.
I don't have the money to randomly try games, man. I just don't.
I feel that.
Minecraft is
getting Cyberpunk. Nope. Look at the chat, man. Look at the chat. Look at this. Come on, guys. Look at this. Look at the Minecraft love.
Get into Zach. Come on.
Dude, I've already got an SMP. I have an SMP. You can come hang out on my SMP. It's a survival multiplayer
dude, we can start a series.
Zach, it means you get to come
start a series.
Boys. We'll be the next dream, but without the stands and the creepy weird shit. That's what YouTube needs is a not creepy.
Dude, let's go.
Creepy dream.
Let's become Minecraft YouTubers. Come on, let's do it right now. Right now, we make the switch. Come on, guys.
If you would have said, let's be YouTubers who make videos about Minecraft, I would have said yes. But since you said Minecraft YouTubers, I'm going to have to say no.
No,
I'll be a YouTuber who only makes Minecraft.
I want a Lion Maker documentary made about me. I want. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, exactly. It's free on Xbox Game Pass. That's what I was just thinking.
Oh, well. Okay, Zach. Well, I might happen to have a 2-month Game Pass. I might happen to have a 2-month Game Pass over here, Zach. Huh?
Zach, it's all lining up. It's all lining up, and the chat is. I mean, the chat wants it.
We do have a nutty SMP. It's catching up. Also, by the way, I would like to point out the fact that I have two brother-in-laws. My sister's. Oh no, I'm from Mississippi, and I slipped up. Fuck.
It's okay.
I was going to say
okay.
their sister
alone.
is my wife, but I said my sister is my wife. I am from Mississippi originally. They are my older brother-in-law is like a month younger than me, and my other brother-in-law is like between them. So they're very modern. They're very up to point, like up to par on the internet stuff. And they told me all about Twitch. They got me caught up with it. They told me about Craigasm and Kappa and all that good shit. Told me ban somebody if they come in there and drop a try hard 7. They told me all the good rules, you know. So they have been instrumental in my process of catching up because some people have seen other interviews where when I got out, I was calling it InstaChat and Snapgram. I'm a little bit better with Instagram now. Still don't really get Snapchat. I still don't really like it. I don't know why it wants me to take a picture of myself every time I open the fucker.
Don't feel pressured to have to get into it. You don't have to.
Instagram
and also
is
like
kind of enjoyable, you know, but with my career, it's kind of smart for me to have them, you know.
I don't do any of it except for like I like sometimes stalk on Twitter and Reddit. That's it.
I don't know why I get on Twitter, man. I get eyeball cancer every time that I go there, but I still get on Twitter too. I don't know why. I guess it's like Charlie said on that video earlier today. He said it's just like my asshole. It's stinky and full of shit, but sometimes I just can't help but play with it. You know?
Exactly.
That's what Charlie said earlier about Twitter. And I think that was a good summary because I don't know if you guys heard about this, but apparently some assholes are trying to cancel Mr. Beast. Did you guys hear about that happening today?
He's the most genuine fucking person in the world.
Because he spent $2 million on the set for his next video, and he posted a picture of it. And somebody was like, I think that money could have been better spent, you know, helping the community. But I mean, maybe that's just me. And it got like 35,000 likes.
It's like socialist argument of like, I don't like that.
Charlie comes out and goes, you can literally say that about anything. He said, okay, Mr. Beast is out here actually spending millions through his soup kitchens that he opened to help his communities and the homeless population. You got him over here who's going to make this video. He spent $2 million making this video that's going to make him $10 million that he's going to turn around and put back into helping people. Yep. And it's about Squid Game. He said, why aren't you accusing the Squid Game people? That cost them $21 million to make Squid Game. That money could have gone to homeless people. You know, that could have gone to people in need. You just bought a hamburger yesterday. Why didn't you give that hamburger to that homeless guy?
I was going to say. Now you bought a PS5. Why the fuck are you buying a PS5 when you could
sell your PS5? You could be helping homeless people. Like, what the fuck kind of argument is this? And
it's like you can't have anything personal or like you can't like anything and put money into it and invest and grow it.
You're being selfish.
Exactly.
It's outrageous. It's like, and I mean, if you can't watch Mr. Beast's videos and tell that dude is genuine like, on camera and off.
You got to ask that person, like, bitch, how much do you give to charity?
Exactly. $0.
Like they don't give anything, but because you have more, they want you to give all of it to charity.
Yep, exactly. He damn near does. I don't know if y'all watched the interview with him or not, but he really does. Most of his profits go back into either videos or helping people. Yep. And dude ain't, you know, living in a mansion that I know of. If he is, I think he bought it for his mom, or maybe he let his mom retire. I can't remember. But I was upset by that. And I saw Charlie made a video called Twitter versus Mr. Beast. And I said, dude, you have got to be kidding me. Please tell me this is a joke. But that's Twitter for you. Twitter can even turn on Mr. Beast. Are you trolling me right now? So yeah, social media. Twitter was already out, of course, whenever I got arrested. Twitter's been out for fucking ever and a half. And when it first came out, I still remember when it first came out, only celebrities used it. My mom's had hers since like 2009. All that it was back then was mostly celebrities had it. It was designed to allow cab drivers in, I think, New York City, fast communication about traffic jams. Is what it was originally designed for. And
that's what I heard.
Yeah. And celebrities, you know, my mom, the way that it used to be, my mom had the app on her Scrollball BlackBerry, and it basically would send you a text from the celebrity through Twitter of what they tweeted, you know. And that's pretty much all that I knew was Twitter at the time of my arrest. And I get out and everybody's got a Twitter now. Now it's just like the cool thing to get on Twitter and be a fucking asshole.
Yeah, I need to get on Twitter. Twitter's the one that I mainly need to get on because that one's actually you can develop some really good connections through Twitter.
Oh, for sure.
I think and
especially how long it's been around.
And it's not Instagram. Instagram sucks ass.
Facebook
and Instagram's also
really
just
good
Facebook.
For connections too. Like
Instagram is literally now just Facebook.
And everybody would call me an old hat for saying that, but it's honestly the truth. A lot of people don't have a lot of followers on Facebook, so their message inbox isn't fucking full.
Never like the only Facebook I would have had would be like personal, and I just never started a Facebook. I just never 18. I never did it.
I was that old. I was 18. And keep in mind now that everybody else that I know got one when they were 14, 15. I've always been kind of anti-social media. Not anti, it's just not really for me. I don't really care if other people do it. I'm seeing the narcissism rates go sky high, and I'm pretty sure that this social media shit is probably involved in that. But
yeah, and like TikTok, I have TikTok, but I don't use it. I don't use it. I have it. It's on my phone, but I don't use it ever.
I don't use it.
And like people are like, wait, why aren't you on TikTok? And it's like, I can't be bothered. Like,
you don't have to defend yourself to anybody, man. Fuck them.
Exactly. This is real men talk shit. If you're not,
I'm not.
I'll tell you this much. I think
just
TikTok
saying,
is
like,
fucking awful. I hate that stupid shit. I can't believe that was advertised as being Vine
that's what
too.
I'm saying.
But
I'm saying I don't understand the mindset of like having to be on it every day and like having to keep up with it and it being literally like an attachment of your life. But I don't see that as healthy.
Play video games and do the same exact thing.
Yes,
that's where my dopamine comes from.
Yeah, but I don't. Yes, but everyone has like their own personal life. And I don't think you should make your personal life your social life.
Most of them aren't, man. It's a fake anyways. You know, they're just out there flexing.
Yeah. But exactly. It's gonna be a fake because you're not gonna actually show it's gonna be fake.
That's why I was so particular.
They're not gonna show them they're not gonna show their actual real selves. Everyone's gonna have everyone's gonna have a fake side because it's social media. That's what social media is. It's you putting on a display.
That's why I was so disappointed when I actually checked out TikTok. It was advertised as being the next Vine. It's Vine 2, Oh, it's the new Vine, short videos and all this. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to check this shit out. Made an account, checked it out.
Vine was dope.
Was people making fun of themselves or making humor or making jokes about how awkward and weird they are. And TikTok's like, hey, yeah, I got that 90s butt cut with my big phone chain. Yeah, I'm rich.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Why is this entertaining you jackasses? And I know everybody says, oh, you got to set your recommended. You got to get your recommended and your just for you videos. Like, I get it. Every website has some good content. I understand that. But I think TikTok needs to be left to middle-aged moms. 13-year-olds and middle-aged parents.
Vibes.
Y'all can have it.
Yep.
It's just like, I guess by nature, the people say, oh, a short video. Vine is, the inspiration here always. And they're nothing like Vines in my book. Now, I've never seen one that was reminiscent of a Vine at all. I even clicked one time on a YouTube video called TikToks with Vine energy, and none of them felt like Vines to me at all. They didn't have that same erratic nonsense feel. It still had the feeling of I'm trying to get people to look at me.
Well,
like, I've never seen a Vine where they're like, hey, look at this. You take a snowball, you stick your finger in it, maple syrup, add some Rice Krispies. Like that weird shit that they do. That's not fucking Vine-like. But to be fair, I was in prison when Vine existed. By the time I got out, Vine was already dead, so could be wrong.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was like, wait, were you even around for Vine? Like, because you only know like a Vine behind, like, after in hindsight.
Yeah. I've watched about 14 hours of them,
and like, I guess I only watched Vine like just like I did with like anything I do. Like, I didn't participate in social media.
Right.
This is as close as I come to participating in social media.
Had to pull you out of your shell.
Yeah.
I like Discord and I like Twitch. That's pretty good for
Discord me. Discord is my number one social media.
Yeah, that's pretty much
by
it
far.
For me. And I still suck at checking my Discord messages too. But I get like 400 messages a day and they just fall down. And it's mostly people I don't know and I get stressed out and I just don't respond to anybody, unfortunately.
Nice flex.
But I still, it's really not. It's mostly spam and shit from my server. And hey, can you introduce me to Charlie? And hey, can you introduce me to Moteplox, Silent Cord, Lockdown 23-1? It's a bunch of people that are fans of it. I'm accessible and their favorite YouTuber or whatever is not, So
yeah,
I guarantee you in a few days, somebody's gonna be like, yo, I got a really interesting story. You think you can put me in touch with Zach? See if we can, hook something up. It's going to happen in a few days' time.
Probably not. I doubt it. Nobody knows about this show.
Well, if a few of my people are already here, and hopefully word will spread because I'm going to post the video on my Discord and stuff like that, and I'm sure that one of them is going to go. Somebody that I've never heard from or seen or noticed in the Discord before is going to slide me a message. Hey, man, I loved you on Real Men Talk Shit. Something crazy like that happened to me. Can I tell my story on either your YouTube channel or Zach's YouTube channel? Everybody and their grandma is like that with me right now. And if you had any idea how many people want to or only fuck with me because they think I'm friends with Charlie, like I am friends with Charlie, but it's casual, Like I don't talk to Charlie every day. I talk to him like every 3 months.
Who is Charlie here?
Voice Critical.
That's who I thought it was.
Yeah, Charlie. I've been on the official podcast a few times, and so people always come out to me and they're all like, "Oh,
that's
man,
a really good podcast. I've listened to it.
Charlie." Yeah, I always have a great time on there, and so I guess people misinterpret my comfort with those guys as like I fuck with these dudes all day, every day.
Yeah, someone who seems really,
Kaya,
someone
Charlie,
who seems really,
awesome.
Moist Critical seems really genuine from what I've seen.
He
seems like an actual. He seems like someone who's like always been like just.
He's down to earth, bro.
Open, down to earth and like real.
When we're not recording, he talks exactly the same. Man.
He doesn't.
Just himself.
He doesn't seem like he has like any like shade. I really hope that something doesn't come out that he is like a pedophile or something. And
no,
he's so sad to be like, no, Charlie, come on, man. You had one job, just not to fuck kids.
I developed a skill in prison, and I think that more people have it outside of prison. I perfected it in prison. Okay, you have to be able in there you have to be able to gauge a man's intentions or his personality by just like his eyes and his actions and his speech patterns. You know, you have to know if you're dealing with a shady psychopath or not. And so in prison, you can really fine tune that ability to basically just look a dude in the eyes and kind of know what he's about, you know? And I know that sounds crazy or like some kind of like spiritual nonsense or something like that, but I believe it. I think that a lot of people, you can kind of see it if their eyes are like this, you know they're aggressive or something. If they're walking around like this, you know that they're one of those dudes that lives life like they don't give a shit. It's body language is super important. And
let's do this then. Do it on the show.
Well, what I was going to say was that I remember my wife is the one that introduced me to Mr. Beast, to use an example. Yeah. And the first time I saw his video, I was like, wow, look at that guy. He is not faking it. And she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, look at that joy on his face. This isn't something that, Johnny Depp, Brad Pitt couldn't do that. The dude is loving it. He's glowing from helping people. Like you can tell he's truly enjoying this and he's not faking it for the camera, And Charlie was the same way when I got into Charlie's videos, because he made a video about me when I was still in prison. I didn't even know about it. I didn't know who he was back then. I did see him on Ray William Johnson, but I had completely forgotten about that because I was a big RWJ fan. And I felt the same way about him, man. You get the vibes from people when they're genuine, and that they're down to earth. And they're the kind of guy where you can shake hands on it and trust that motherfucker's going to follow through with what he said. I look at other YouTubers. I've even been on a show where now I've watched a little bit more of the guy, and I'm kind of like, I'm just gonna stay back. All right, I don't even, I message him every now and then, and we're cool or whatever. But like, some people out there are just really fake, man. And Charlie and Mr. Beast, I just feel like are not. First time I ever saw Keemstar's ass on YouTube, I was like, why the fuck does this dude have a fan base? Y'all can't tell this is the most little snivelly rat, little snitch, little piece of shit. See, you can tell he looks like a little fucking convict, man. Little beady eyes, angry all the time, little swollen up short man syndrome. Little piece of shit.
I miss the good old FAG days, the Federation of Asshole Gamers.
Like, we don't do that anymore.
That's what I liked from Keemstar. That shit was good.
That one's probably been banned and canceled now.
Yeah, it definitely.
Unlike him,
maybe
unlike he himself. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't really watch the dude's content. I'm commenting on. I can tell by his speech, his mannerisms. I can tell what kind of person he is, man. He's chasing clout by using already established people's. Well, clearly, or he wouldn't have so many subscribers.
That's
not
what
my
I mean.
kind of entertainment, but hands down, I must admit that he's clearly a great entertainer. He wouldn't be as successful as he is. Now, as for whether or not I consider that
entertaining, and I think
myself,
that's why
he's just loud. That's kind of successful sometimes, just getting loud, And like I said, for all I know, the dude might be building homeless shelters on his fucking weekends, but I bet a lot of money he's not. I bet a lot of money on the weekends he's scrolling through Twitter trying to find somebody.
I definitely admit he's pretty selfish.
Yeah, it seems like it. His whole body language, man. He just looks and talks and acts like an asshole. And I don't know how that doesn't shine through. Even when he's looking at the camera going, hey, guys, today we're going to talk about this, blah, 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 blah. It's not about what he's saying. It's about him. He's giving off that negative vibe, man. I just don't want anything to do with that. I see people like, I don't know if you guys would know Silent Core. He was a famous RuneScape player. Meeting him was like a dream come true for me. I was a fan of his from when I was 15 years old when he started making videos. One of his earliest subscribers. When I got locked up, he made a video about it, and I shit myself. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Now he's a friend of mine, and he's the reason that I'm successful on Twitch and everything like that, man, is because his interview with me went like semi-viral, 500,000 views in like a week, and it took off from there. And as soon as I got to talk to him, it was the same way. He's so genuine, dude, and so nice. And I just feel like that kind of thing shows, and a lot of people can't see it, And if anybody's out here trying to talk shit about Mr. Beast, they can go fuck themselves, man. That's all I'm saying. The dude is solid. He's got a golden heart. And I bet you he's done a lot more good in his life than you have. Whoever's talking shit.
No, I do a lot of good. I help as many people as I fucking can. But I know for damn sure I don't do as much as fucking Mr. Beast does.
Damn right. I got to admit it.
True.
I don't either. I try to do what I can. But do keep in mind now, it's all about percentages. You might be giving 20% of what you got to help people. He's only giving 2%. That bastard. No, I'm just playing, man.
Exactly.
What I heard, he gives a like 100%. He gives
does.
a lot of it.
Almost all of his money. He said that all of his income goes either back into YouTube because he just bought like 3 warehouses for making videos, or he said it goes to his philanthropy projects and stuff like that, and his family, or just a video where he gives a homeless guy $1,000, $5,000 or whatever, which they probably got really fucked up with. But you know what? It was his to give, and he gave it. So, but I could just see the genuine attitude that he has. He doesn't seem fake at all. There's just no. I can sit here and probably think of quite a few YouTubers that I believe are just all bullshit. I don't know why they have fan bases. Yo, what up? It's Rice Scott. I just bought this new Rolex. Like, why does this guy have millions
I think some of those people are just brain dead. And I don't understand why they're entertaining.
I also don't want to shout out any more names because I just realized that I'm not trying to make Real Men Talk Shit beef with anybody or anything like that.
No,
Keemstar got a big ass ego. Somebody's gonna see this and tweet him, and he's gonna fucking
fuck Rice Gum.
I invited him on the podcast because I thought he would be an interesting conversation to have.
Oh, it would definitely be an interesting conversation. I don't doubt that. Did he say no, or did he just not respond?
He didn't respond, but he did offer to go on any podcast that wanted him. So I'm going to say this live. Keem,
ignore me.
We want you, brother. We want you.
Who doesn't want Keem?
Come defend yourself against my allegations.
We'll have Josh back on, and you can call him.
That's what I was thinking. We're gonna have
Bro, he would come in here talking about some school shooter type ass bullshit. I googled your name, man. Come on, man. I know how he is. He don't get nothing of substance. He accused a RuneScape player. I don't know if you guys know about this. He accused an old man, a famous RuneScape player, being a pedophile, and it wasn't him, and like ruined the guy's life, and then refused to apologize when he found out it 100% was not him. In the end, he gave a minor apology and then sent his people back over there over something else. And his squad was all up in this dude's Twitch chat going and saying, 80-something, 70-something-year-old man, RS Glory and Gold, looked nothing like this pedophile. And Keemstar, without checking on it, without looking up anything, man, ruined this old man's life damn near. I had him out there, everybody accusing him of pedophilia and sexual assault.
Oh, I remember when that happened.
Mm-hmm. No, it wasn't even him. He had no evidence. He didn't do any research. You know what? He made a lot of money telling that lie for ruining that guy's life. So Keemstar, you come on the show after me or whenever, anytime in the future, I think you're a piece of shit. I'm a very small YouTuber. If you attack me, you can ruin my life or whatever. You're very good at that. So I'm sure you're very vindictive and spiteful. But that's fucked up what you did to Tony. Sorry.
It's all good, man.
I don't want to be accused of being a pedophile either.
Apparently, there's like a whole backstory behind that now, like where that guy was like bleeding Keem for money, apparently. But I don't know if Keem's just lying to get out of not paying out of this guy. Like, yeah, I know. I don't know the full story, so I don't want to talk too much about it.
Keemstar would have circulated if you asked.
Yeah, that's more what it sounds like, but I don't know. There's a whole story about that, but I would love to. Keem, come tell it.
Come tell the story, Keem. How did you get confused? Because that man was not the man that you tweeted that picture of and said it was him. How did you get confused? They don't look that much alike at all. Weird.
My source told me. Like,
I know, right?
Well, there was also that
he was a RuneScape 3 player, the old man. He played RuneScape 3, not old school.
That bullshit with what the fuck was that dude who dated a 16-year-old and then dated Clara Baby Legs and everything else.
Oh, you're thinking of Basher.
That they were in cahoots and making money off of the money that the stories that Keem was telling off of Basher.
Wait, who was making money off that?
Basher and Keem were making stories about Basher, so that way they would make money off of the stories that Keem was
I don't think Basher was in on it because Basher did not turn out well in the end of it.
Yes, he did.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
Everybody can hate you, and you still got 10 million. You know what I mean?
I thought he turned out like really bad mentally, and I thought he was broke and everything like that. I thought he was like, and I thought his YouTube channel was dead and everything.
Well, he's no longer okay.
See, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought, yeah,
he's dead.
Oh shit!
That's exactly what. All right, that's not exactly where I thought he was
dead. Didn't you say that? You said I thought he was dead.
I did not say he was dead.
2021.
I thought he was dead or something.
It says he died, but his YouTube channel. Oh, it says it's live, but it was from January 10th. But yes,
so he's dead.
Yes,
he's
dead.
No wonder.
Shit.
He died from COVID.
Oh wow! What?
Damn, he got the COVID.
Damn,
he got COVID.
How was this not bigger? How did like the Basherverse, like the drama from a few years ago, like 2016 drama?
I'll say this. I'm not exactly sure what y'all are talking about, but if they're in on the circle of feeding it to each other, I'm wondering if it might go something essentially like this, because this is a thing that happens in the feds, and I think this happens all over the place. We have private prisons in America. Talladega is a private prison. There's a man making money off of every inmate that is there. The government gives him $50-something or whatever every single day for every person in the prison. For 3 meals that don't cover, this box of thumbtacks that I have right here, for, a deck of cards worth of shitty potatoes. $50 a day he gets paid for that. The more people in his prison, the more money goes directly into his profit. The less that he gives to the inmates, the less healthcare, the less toilet paper, the less toothpaste, the more profit he gets. So it is literally him doing everything that he can to keep us as illegally, as possible. Like half the time your water doesn't work, that's illegal, but who are you going to call? The feds? They're going to say, haha, you're an idiot. You shouldn't have broke the law, and hang up. But what I was going to say about this in cahoots thing is that it's common and has been exposed before that a guy who owns a prison or is involved in it will go to a judge, low key, slip him a whole lot of money and say, nobody gets probation. Nobody. I'm going to give you $1 million now. For the next 5 years, everybody goes to prison. Deal? And they've done it, and it's mutually beneficial. And it looks kind of like they're at odds, You would think that the judges are the ones who are, working, alongside the system, but they try to be sympathetic and all that stuff, when in reality, no, not whatsoever. They're both benefiting massively off of it. He pays you $1 million right now, and he profits $10 million in the next 5 years from his prison, Exactly. And this has happened. It's been confirmed that it has happened. And so I don't know if that's what you're talking about, something like that going on, where they're kind of pretending like they're separate entities and just, really just hyping it up.
So Basherverse was found out to be having underage sex. He had underage sex with a 16-year-old while he was 24 or 25, something like that.
I don't think he actually did have,
but the age of consent
any physical relations
was 16, and he was found to be a mental midget, or somebody who was very similar to the girl mentally.
Arrested Development.
They were like the same level of retard. They were both 16. They didn't level up their retard far enough. So then it was found that essentially there wasn't a problem.
So let me guess, Keemstar is the one that broke the story, right?
Yes. And then Keem kept bringing him on his podcast, kept bringing him on his show and everything else, essentially to apologize. But after...
He wasn't, he flamed the fuck out of him.
Yes. After 6 weeks worth of Basherverse videos, it's kind of suspect.
Yep. It's almost like there's a theme here and it's getting a lot of clicks, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know that he made money off that. I thought he just suffered.
I guarantee he made money off that.
Every click on a YouTube video.
I thought he just
and then Clara started doing fucking OnlyFans and everything else.
Oh, I know she benefited. I know she's doing fine.
Who's Clara?
On
the girl?
OnlyFans. Yeah, Clara Baby Legs.
The girl in question, the 16-year-old?
No.
His girlfriend currently at the time.
The 16-year-old.
Huh? Well, I figured that this would have been a few years later, is what I was thinking. I didn't know
he was dating somebody, and essentially it caused them to go at odds because underage sex.
Even though 16 was the age of consent in his state and is legal in most
girls
countries
do that now
world.
that are 17, that are oh, whenever I turn 18, I'll start posting not safe for work content. Do
Probably,
do that?
Yeah. I would assume so.
I would definitely assume with OnlyFans. Yeah, with how many girls I know now that do OnlyFans, I would not be surprised if
they're just waiting to turn 18. Damn, I just can't wait. I'm gonna be ready.
if
sad, man.
If that's happened,
oh, I'm sure.
When
I remember being in prison, bro. When I was in prison, the fucking it was a Vogue or something came out where Dakota Fanning had just turned 18 and she did a huge sexy photo shoot, and they were the pictures you've all been waiting for. Hold the fuck up, bro. Hold the fuck up. What do you mean the pictures we've all been waiting for? 24 hours ago, that shit was illegal, and now you're saying, hold on now. What do you mean? She's been acting since she was 6. I don't know. That shit hit me weird, bro.
We've all been
really
18th birthday, they do a sexy photo shoot. I was
it's not the way to phrase that.
Was Miley Cyrus.
I was in jail when she popped off deciding that she was an adult.
Oh, that
Hold
was
on. Miley Cyrus and Billy Ray Cyrus sheet picture.
Sheet?
Look
What
at
picture?
this. Hold on. I'm posting it in chat. I just had to copy image address. These were taken with her dad. I can't show these on stream, so I'm going to post it in chat. But those pictures were taken with her dad
That's weird,
and
man.
she was underage.
Oh,
Was she? Yeah, that's weird, bro.
Yeah, I'm closing that.
Yeah.
I opened it
Off
and
my
closed it
screen.
immediately.
I looked at it
Like-
for a second and I was going, is that Billy Ray? He looked a lot younger. And I was like, she was
No,
probably
that's Billy
underage
Ray.
right when he said that.
Yep.
That was weird, man. I don't get it, man. But I will also say that I'm aware of the fact that in many, many countries across the world, 16 is considered an adult, or 17. You know, America has a fairly high standard. We're the only country that I know of where you have to be 21 to buy alcohol.
It's probably going to go down. Like just like with the I think the alcohol
go
age
down or go up.
I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah.
if it goes up. I don't
True.
think it's going to go down because, as I was saying earlier about sexual type stuff, or even the overzealous justice system, nobody wants to raise that flag. Nobody wants to be the guy who's trying to save chomos. You know what I mean? Lower the fucking age of consent. Like that guy's going to get shot.
It seems like everything's going to go to 21, including Army and armed forces and everything else.
I could see
you can go kill a
drinking
man for
going
your
down.
country and you're not allowed to have a beer and a cigarette afterwards.
I would hope that the that goes up for like the military. That sounds good.
I think everything should go up. Just put everything at 21.
You ain't grown until you're 21 now,
I
folks.
can't do shit then. Not
Sucks
until
for
I'm
you.
21.
Oh yeah,
Not until I'm
not 21 yet.
Yeah, I'm not 21 yet. Not
Man,
until
I
I'm
remember waiting for 21 for the longest, man. I ended up turning 21 in prison. 20 in jail, 21 in prison, 22 in prison.
Make it so I can get
23,
my
24.
weed at 18, okay?
I turned
I just
25
need
at the
my
halfway
weed.
house, and then 26 in prison, 27 at the halfway house.
Do you think
And
you
then
need to be
28.
21 to vote?
Play COD, you got to be 21.
Most people vote the same way their parents do anyway. It really mostly depends on how many people have kids, more so than the age that's allowed to vote, I would guess, for fuck's sake.
Because
At least in the South, actually. I can't speak for most Americans. In the South.
I agree. But like Democrats want it to be lowered to 16.
It shouldn't be lowered to 16.
I don't think it should be lowered
yeah.
to 16, personally.
Those are kids and they're retards.
Yeah, I
not even
agree.
I was
I don't know
nuts when I was
retards either.
16. I didn't know shit. I thought I did. I damn sure
Josh
thought
went
I
to
did.
jail after he was 16.
Yep. I was 19 and I was
Like-
still a fucking kid.
Like I can't imagine charging 16-year-olds like as an adult. Like I think you would have to then if you allowed 16-year-olds to vote.
I think
Fair point.
If you're going to allow 16-year-olds to vote, then you allow everything at 16.
That's a good point. I mean, voting is considered just a part of the democracy. It means that you're responsible enough to take a hand in the reins of the controlling of the country, you know? So I agree with what Void said.
What do you
as
think
well
about the driving age?
Then it's,
Because
I, don't know,
I think
16, I guess seems all right. I guess. I don't know. I never really thought about it.
what if we based it on an IQ test?
That'd probably be a lot better.
Let's base everything off an IQ test. I'd be okay.
Oh, man. All right. Now we're getting
Ooh.
Nazi territory. No, I'm just kidding. Your
that's
IQ is
okay.
90. No,
Only
baby.
the master race.
I have a fucking Death Eater tattoo. Do you know how many
Hey.
people call this a fucking Nazi tattoo?
What?
Yes.
Are you
So-
serious?
So now they are trying to combine.
Did
the
you just
ideals-
touch that? Did you just touch your tattoo? I'm out of here, bro. Holy shit, he's on the way, man. I'm out of here, bro.
But they're trying to combine fucking Death Eaters and fucking Nazis.
Oh my god, dude. Come on,
Makes
y'all.
sense.
It ain't that heavy. It's Harry Potter, man. Come on.
What do you mean? It
Holy
makes
shit.
sense.
No, it doesn't. Dan.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. Yes, I see the parallels here. Nazis, wizards. We're superior. You're lesser, you know?
Okay, so
America is the muggles and the wizards that like humans. You know, I mean, I can certainly see the parallel.
I brought up the Reddit post and
Oh, no.
it's a second long, so let's just sit back and listen for a second. It really bothers me when I see somebody excitedly share their tattoo on here and say you're almost guaranteed to see a comment along the lines of, I just can't believe somebody would get a permanent symbol on them that's equivalent of a Nazi swastika. To me, that's so offensive. It takes a lot to offend me. How can somebody compare a fictional group to Nazis? I mean, are you kidding me? Well, they represent an evil group. Yes, they do. A fictional evil group. To compare that to a real group is responsible for acts is so inhumane. It's simply ludicrous.
This person takes the wizarding world too seriously.
Way too seriously. See, I love Harry Potter universe. Shocking, yeah? And I enjoy to play the role of a Death Eater, but that's just it. I'm playing a role. I don't believe in their ideals. It's just a little bad when role playing. Does that make me the equivalent of a Nazi? No. Who doesn't want to be a little bad sometimes?
Wow. I actually wanted the Death Eater tattoo for a long time. I was going to get the one from the book, though.
Mine's completely
that one looks sicker.
Really? This glows in the dark.
Yeah,
and
nice.
It has the Deathly Hallows on the top. I don't know how well it's coming through the camera.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. I see the triangle at the top.
Yeah.
That's sick, man. And apparently now you're a Nazi. Great.
Like,
I agree with the chat, too. Ticker said that it is a Nazi tattoo in the wizardry world. I can agree that in Harry Potter universe, it's probably similar to a swastika. We're in the real world.
Yep.
Where you're clearly just a fan of the books, you know?
Yeah, I also like the duality of it. It has the Deathly Hallows as well. So it's kind of like the
Eternal
good
life
with the evil.
inside the death.
Yeah, exactly. And so many people don't genuinely understand that it's like there's so much more thought and thought-provoking shit behind it that
it could very well be that the Death Eaters were marked from the day that they were going to obtain the Deathly Hallows, you know?
Yep.
It could just be like, look, this is what defeated the Death Eaters since you got it right in the middle of the forehead. I mean, so many interpretations, and instead everybody just rather call you a Nazi because it's 2021. I have to say, dude, I think the collective IQ has dropped significantly in the few short years that I was gone. I cannot believe the shit that people are on nowadays. Like, maybe it's because I've been hanging out on the internet since 2000. Okay? And so, like, when I see shit about, like, that shit's going to brainwash you and you're going to turn into a zombie. Bro, I've been on the internet too long to fall for some dumb shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, just
exactly.
Now that the internet's become mainstream, people who aren't aware of its heritage just take everything as fact. I will give a story about this, man. A very close relative of mine, first generation relative here, believes that the vaccine will give him, will brainwash him because it reacts to 5G. The government can download my brain, some shit like this, right? Some shit like this. My dad then goes, we started talking about music. He's like, hey, have you ever seen, oh, damn, I said my dad. He said, have you ever seen dubstep get made before? And I was like, I mean, yeah, I used to make it on FL Studio, and you triple oscillator and you change the waves on it. He's like, no, how it was originally invented. Let me show you this video. It's really cool. So he goes to YouTube and he shows me a video of a dude putting a trumpet in a tube, right? Have you seen this video?
No, I haven't.
And I'm already going,
maybe.
I'm already going, nah. No. And it says in sans serif font and white letters at the top of the screen, how dubstep was invented. I'm going, this is a fucking meme. I already know it. So the guy's like doing this thing and he's showing, he puts the funnel in the tube and he blows through the trumpet tube at this end and it fucking just like obvious computer triple oscillating dubstep wobble. Nothing on the planet Earth makes that sound except for a computer, not a fucking trumpet on a tube. And I was like, Dad, I paused and I said, Dad, this is not real. And he goes, no, but look, the tube, you know, I mean, it'll stretch out the sound waves. I was like, I get conceptually, yes, but it would not make that sound. It just straight up couldn't. He goes, keep watching. I didn't watch the whole video. Watch, you'll see. I click play. The next time that he blows in it, they put the bass and the singing and the drums with it and all that shit. He didn't even make it to the end of the video. This is why he's not allowed to have an opinion on shit brainwashing him or not. Because he falls for this shit on the internet. I've been on the internet since the year 2000, man. I already know about this. They used to say that shit about microwaves, cell phones, every fucking thing. The birds on the trees.
But then, like,
if he doesn't want to get it, I don't care, man. That's fine. That's up to him or whatever. That's his total choice. But to say that it's because they're going to download your brain, bro, you've been on the internet, man. You can't take it that seriously.
You know, and the stuff that they think that they can trust the most isn't even like we don't know about like what we don't really know if what we're reading is misinformation or if it's actually like serious or if it's true.
I check
like
the sources,
half the time.
man, and most of the time I'm just gonna.
Like,
if it's
that's
from
all you
reputable
can
sources
do.
of scientists, then I'm going to say, you know what? Okay. They gave me my cell phones and these computers and this internet that I have right here and my, you know, my health, because I almost died of appendicitis when I was a kid. Science has done pretty good for me so far. So if people don't want to get it, you know, I mean, that's on them as far as I'm concerned. That's fine. But to claim something as outlandish as it's the mark of the beast or it's going to brainwash me or something like, is this divergent?
Like,
are we kidding?
Or people, or like it makes you magnetic or something like that. It's like,
oh my god,
like oh my god.
Charlie made a video about that bitch sticking that key to her neck at the meeting and it just kept falling off. She's like, look, it's not okay, but I'm magnetic now. Like, girl, get the fuck out of here, man. Are you kidding me?
People get
come
mad at
on.
me about my opinion, and I've told it 3 times on this show, so I'll tell it in fast forward. But I think it should be a personal choice, not mandated. I've told my grandparents to get it. I told my parents to get it. If it was needed for my kids and I knew it was safe, I would get it for them. I won't get it for myself.
I've already gotten it for what it's worth. I got it about a year ago, or
But
not quite a whole year.
I don't know
Or
why
much
you would
earlier
tell
this year.
you tell everyone else to get it, and like even like your kids get it, but you don't want to get it personally.
I wouldn't have gotten it probably if I didn't have a daughter.
Is it
That's the
just
only
because
thing
of like your
I'm concerned
personal
about.
situation of like you're worried that you're gonna get sick,
Not only
With it?
am I worried I'm going to get sick, also I don't get the
and
flu
that
vaccine.
you can't get sick? I understand that. Like that's not
I
something you
don't
can
get the flu
afford.
vaccine, so I don't get sick.
hmm
Like I'd never get sick. So why am I going to risk getting a vaccine for something I may or may not get?
Because your body does already have like.
And there's a chance I've already had it. So let's be 100% honest here. There's a chance I've already had it.
Did you get sick?
Yes.
That's possible.
I was sick for about 2.5 days.
Just
That's not too
get a
bad.
test and find out.
They can tell if you've already had it or not.
Yeah.
Which I think
Next time you go to the doctor,
in most cases is damn near
request it next time.
Yeah,
if you get a checkup.
I think in most cases,
Whenever you get a
damn near
checkup,
immune
just
once
try.
you've had it once. I mean, it's almost like being vaccinated if you've had it already. You know, you can still break through, obviously, but if you've had it already, then your body knows what the hell it is.
Well, if I have to have the surgery, I'll be tested. I'll be fucking.
Mhm.
Everything will have to be done and everything else.
Yeah,
But-
exactly like Techno just said. You would have the antibodies. That's how they check it.
Mhm.
I will say though that this thing, when I went to prison, my dad had like Facebook. You know what I mean? That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Now my dad surfs websites. He's evolved, and most of that shit that he's saying comes from Facebook. I already know that. I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
And let me say this also. My grandmother, I love my grandmother to death, man. She's like the sweetest lady. She's like the only person in my family that always loved me unconditionally.
Yeah.
But she holds very similar political beliefs to my father. And let me just give another little tiny example of why I don't fall for this shit. My grandmother saw a Facebook post, bro, that Cadbury cream eggs, you know, the little Easter treat, Cadbury cream eggs removed the cross from their packaging logo because they didn't want to offend Muslims. So she's pissed. She had some. She threw them all in the trash, and I'm never buying those again. They took the cross off of it, and she's furious and fired up about it. She saw the picture, you know, it had a picture of the before and after, and it looked a little bit different. There was no cross shape anymore and all this. 100% fake. There has never been a cross on any Cadbury egg product anywhere ever in the history of the planet Earth. Never was there a cross in the first place. So one was never removed.
Wait,
you know what she said?
really?
I'm still not buying no damn Cadbury eggs. Bruh.
No, that's funny.
She's allowed to vote.
So she just heard that she's
It
just
was a
getting
Facebook
mad
post.
literally over like just fake shit.
Something that does not exist. 2 weeks
Wow.
later, I had to message her and tell her to take down the damn picture of the parents from fucking Back to the Future because she posted the black and white picture of them and was like, hey, has anybody seen this old couple? I found this black and white picture and it says these names on the back, 1980, 1950, whatever. It was a joke from the movie. And my grandmother reposted it and was like, we got to help her. We got to help this person find their parents. I said, grandmother, take that down. I'm about to send you that picture in full color right now. That's an actor and actress that played the parents in Back to the Future. That's not a real picture. It's a meme and you fell for it.
That's part of the reason like I don't want to like
But
start
she's
like
allowed
getting
to-
on social media because I'm gonna have to worry about like that shit. I'm gonna have to worry about like what my parents post because they're associated with me. Like
Exactly.
I
What it's
can't.
worth,
I just can't worry about that shit. I just like no, I'm not gonna worry about it in the first place. Just
Every time that I go on a show or anything, or if somebody says something about my parents or my family or anything, all I say is I keep my political beliefs to myself. You know, my story is about this can happen to you. You know, be careful, shine a light on the filth of what the government does and that kind of stuff. You know, I've never tried to be much of a soapbox. The only thing is that I have like half-ass activism feelings towards the corruption of the prison system, obviously. Everything else, man, I always just tell them, people come at me, if somebody would come to my Twitch chat and be like, yo, your father-in-law posted this crazy shit, so now you agree with that or something, I'd be like, I don't endorse. I'm not saying I agree. I'm not saying I disagree. I'm just saying that's there and I'm me and that's different, man, you know?
The person you should get in touch with is Johnny Ramirez from 60 Days In. I know you probably haven't watched the show.
I watched it a
But,
few times.
But I have contact with Johnny Ramirez, and he's trying to become an activist for just that, trying to get rid of private prisons, trying to get rid of the corruption in prisons. You two together probably would be pretty disgusting. Working.
That sounds amazing, man. Yeah. Hey, I would like to say this real quick about that show 60 Days In. I get asked about it every day. I obviously can't guarantee it, but it looks 100% real to me. I'm just saying. Everybody always asks me that. I can see other shows where that like they fake scenes or whatever. So, 60 Days In has always looked legit.
From season 1 to season 4, 100% real.
Okay. After that, false situations.
From what Johnny said, it seems like season 5, which is the season with Mark. We had Mark on the show. He's a cool fucking dude, sweet fucking dude. But there's no way in hell he's going to become a pod boss.
Was he a pod boss in the series?
Yes. He became a pod boss at the end because Josh.
What was his name?
Mark.
Was it a white dude or a black dude?
White dude.
No, I'm thinking of the Hispanic dude. That's what I'm thinking of.
You're thinking about Abner. The head
that's
of the
him.
Chicanos.
Yeah, that's it. I'm the head of the Chicanos. Yeah, that's it. I have to run this. Bro, when I was watching that show, I didn't know he was the plant. That dude played that role to a T. I didn't even know he was the plant. I mean, I should have known because he's getting interviewed, but sometimes it seemed like they were interviewing regular inmates. I was getting confused because I came in halfway through the episode.
They did.
They would interview? I thought so. So I saw him doing an interview, and I didn't figure out that he was the plant until like way later, you know? And
until they're like...
The thing about it is, though, that dude figured it out. He knows that 95% of inmates in there are all bark and no bite. So he just went in there with his dick swinging, and they backed up because that's really what happens. Most people in there really don't want no smoke, you know? They want a big, bad bark, and I'll walk like this, you know, and all that shit. But when it comes down to it, most of them in there are only going to fight if they really have to. Somebody calls them a bitch or they swing on them or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He goes in there and starts hollering. Everybody's going to be like, I mean, they might tell him you don't run shit, but they're probably still going to do what he says. So Abner went in there with the exact right mindset. He didn't act like a coward at all. I never wanted to be a pod boss or a shot caller. My little skinny white ass. I was always the funny guy. I just shoot shit with whoever. I kicked up the blacks, the whites, the Hispanics. I didn't obviously sit on their side of the cafeteria. I wasn't like allowed to do that, if you will.
You weren't allowed to cross.
Well, see, the thing about it is, right, the black dudes will forgive you for sitting on the white side. The white dudes won't forgive you for sitting on the black side. So I just like to stay neutral.
That's
so
weird.
I sat on the white side, you know. Yeah, if you sit on the black side of the chow hall, they're 100%. You're not sitting over here again. Stay your ass over there. Just pick a side, basically.
Kind of says something.
Yeah, I mean, that's how prison is, man. It's divided by race, hardcore, you know. And then the Hispanics typically roll with the natives because natives, at any given prison I've been at, I don't think I've ever seen more than 3 actual Native Americans, and the rest were Hispanics.
Oh, you know, they're all here.
Identified. Yeah. Hell, probably some of them were from Oklahoma. Oh, by the way, I've been to Oklahoma City Transport. That place fucking sucks. Oklahoma City Transfer, sucks. Where Joe Exotic was. In that beginning, I remember seeing him on. He was like inmate Joe Exotic, and it like showed it, and I was like, oh fuck, he's a. I've
seen
Oklahoma
Joe Exotic.
City. What, in person?
Yeah.
Why?
I went before because I went to the zoo before. He was like an Oklahoma thing.
You monster! No, I'm just kidding, man.
We're gonna have to binge watch that show this week, Lloyd.
I didn't finish it.
Yeah, probably.
I mean,
you can binge watch it quick. You can binge watch Tiger King quick, and also I've already seen it before, and so I just play it in the background while I do other shit.
I know it gets crazier.
Season 2 comes out this week.
Does it really?
I know. Comes out in 3 days.
Oh shit!
It comes out the 18th.
All right, it's about time for me to jump back on then. I'll talk to my wife about it. We need something to watch now anyway.
Yeah, Tiger King's really fucking good.
I've been there. Oklahoma City Transfer Center is fucked. To meet their daily calorie count, they give you an ice cream scoop of butter with all of your meals. You get a carton of milk, a little tiny bowl of cereal, and an ice cream scoop of butter on a plate. And they gave you enough calories. If you don't eat the butter, that's not their fault. They gave you the calories. So legally, they're protected.
Wow.
Yep. Scoop of butter with every meal because it's like 1,000 calories. So they can give you 6 peanuts and a scoop of butter, and legally, they gave you enough calories. It's amazing.
Man, that's so fucked. That's
how Oklahoma City is. It's 30-man pods too, man. 30-man bay. It's 2 toilets, 1 shower, and 10 triple bunks. You ever seen a fucking triple bunk? They're only this high. Like you cannot sit up in it. You have to get out of them so carefully and get into them. They're 6 feet high and there's 3 beds there, and there's 10 of them in a room. So it's 30 dudes in one room with 1 quiet ass tube TV on the wall, 2 toilets, and 1 shower. Brutal, man. Thankfully, I was only there for 8 days.
Yeah, I've heard prisons here suck. Like
that place isn't even a prison. I was just transferring. Or if it is a prison, forgive me. I was in the transfer part. If there are inmate serving times there, that's not where I was.
Oh, there are. Yeah, okay. There are in multiple places in Oklahoma.
Oh, I was talking about
especially in the OKC, especially in the OKC Metro. There are like 3 places in the OKC Metro, actually, like prison facilities.
That doesn't surprise me at all. It's big business. Where the fuck did the vape go? Oh well.
Didn't you sit down right in front of you?
They're awful.
Who, Joe Exotic?
No, I've heard the prisons are awful.
Oh,
so,
man, Oklahoma's known for being pretty raunchy. Yeah, Alabama, Oklahoma, Florida, California, the big one. Obviously, California. Those are where the federal joints are kicking. I did serve time in Florida too.
Isn't California more like? Isn't that more dangerous crimes?
Well, it's more dangerous prisons.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm. Oh, okay.
The high security, like the USP, like for example, I was an FCI, medium high security, right? Which can also an FCI can also be just a regular medium security. If medium securities in California, they're killing. Like that, it's legitimately like the gnarliest prisons on our side of the country. Do what?
Did you hear or see any of that shit?
I saw a guy get ran through with a bone crusher one time, man. Yeah, that was about it. Just
what's
once.
A bone crusher?
A knife about this long, made out of the side of your bunk.
Oh.
And yeah, it came out the front of him.
Bone crusher.
He lived.
Yes.
He lived. Yeah, it's a bone. It'll literally break your bones once they push it hard enough. So they call it.
I bet it will.
It will. It came out the front of him. He stabbed it in the back. He didn't hit. I don't think he must have. No, it came out right by his belly button. But
yeah, they intestined him.
Yeah. I was going to say I don't think he hit any bones, but it came out the front of him. I can't see how he would not have hit any bones though. But I saw the damn thing, the tip come out of the front of it, and some yellow stuff. And then he started screaming at the guy because they were friends before this, man. And that's the only time I ever saw something like that with my own eyes. I've seen dudes get hit with slocks and all that shit and fucking dump a bunch of, like I said, that schizophrenic dude put all those little miniature jail toothpaste in a sock and just went wailing on that dude. Bro, it looked like crows pecked that guy's face from that shit. Like just him just wailing on him with it like that. The little sharp edges of the toothpaste just cut his ass up. And he didn't even do anything. They had never spoken before. The schizo guy had just come in the pod like 4 hours before this. An hour later, we all lay down to go to bed, and then he just randomly gets up, puts a bunch of toothpaste in his sock. And by the time that I realized that he wasn't going to the toilet and I started hollering, it was too late. He was already wailing on the guy. No reason. Just mentally ill, you know? There's no telling he's over here thinking he has to kill him to stop World War II or something. We don't fucking
Could have been you.
Absolutely could have been me. I probably wasn't because I was awake. Maybe it's because I was awake, you know? And the dude was like a 55, 60-year-old man that got caught with some Xanax on the Natchez Trace.
Did he look at you? Like before he did it?
He looked at everybody, bro. He didn't come out of the corner. That's why I'm surprised that I didn't notice, because he stood with his back in the corner like this for hours. And, you know, we're all trying to kind of like, hey, buddy, you want to play spades? He would completely ignore us. And I was like, this dude is like catatonic right now. He's like having a complete mental illness breakdown. And they just put him in a pod poker.
So
we're going to play spades.
Obviously, you wouldn't go back and you would change everything that you did.
Nah.
But what's something that you would have changed in jail? Like, what situation would you have changed or
did it when I was inside?
Yeah.
What would I have done differently in there?
Yeah.
That's a tough one to think about. Well, I did do a lot of drugs my first prison sentence, and I still have like health problems from that. Obviously, the drugs that you're getting in there are of questionable quality, and oftentimes they're just chemicals, research chemicals, if you will. And I did have a really bad drug problem prior to my arrest, and it did get pretty bad when I was in prison too. So I was typing legal motions for people to earn money, and it ended up just being this sick, twisted vortex of me having to spend 9 hours a day typing legal motions on a typewriter so that I could come back and get high for 30 minutes. K2 Spice is extremely popular in there because there's no drug testing, you know, Spice, Tucci, whatever you want to call it, Mojo, whatever. What's the other one they call it? Flocka. It's all the same shit. It's overly powerful research chemicals, you know. Suboxone is extremely popular. Suboxone, buprenorphine, you know, the heroin medication to help you get off of heroin. Yep. If you're not addicted to heroin, it gets you high and it feels like heroin. So a lot of people in there do that. And also at those times, they weren't showing up on the drug test because inmates can be randomly drug tested, which is why Spice is popular. If they didn't drug test, everybody would just be smoking weed. I bet you in 15 years, there's going to be an epidemic of inmates with brain cancer that have been smoking K2 for 15 straight years, you know, like later on down the line, because we don't know what the hell's in that. But yeah, man, it would have made my time a lot easier if I would have just laid off drugs. I did play guitar for like 7 hours a day for about 2 years, just sitting outside all day studying music theory and everything. And I wish I would have focused on that even more than how much time I spent in the pursuit of drugs. But I will also say, man, being an addict kills your time. You'd be amazed at how many people in prison are completely strung out on drugs because it's a full-time job, bro. You're looking, you're doing
kills time.
Or you're thinking about it, or you're trying to figure out how to get it, or you're going to wait to meet the guy to get it. Yeah, it just kills your time just all day, every day, being focused on this one goal. And every time that you get it, you're a little bit happier, you know, and you end up chasing the dragon. And I do also believe that a lot of people in prison probably have undiagnosed depression, man. and that fuels the drug addiction even worse for all of us. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
they
that,
don't get treated
I think
for
that
it.
expands more. Well, I think it's especially bad in prison, with what you're talking about with depression. But I think that can be expanded to like the overall population.
Certainly, absolutely. I mean, it's a dark place, man. It's evil in there. You know, you're surrounded by some horrible men. And also, let me say, man, that I found out from firsthand experience that not only bad people go to prison, dude. I'd say well over half of the guys that I met in prison were good fucking dudes that, you know, bent the law and got caught. It was that simple. Or, you know, they had a shitty job and their kid needed braces and dude fucking already liked meth. So, hey, you know what? I sold some meth, you know, or I started cooking some meth and the feds got involved. Now they're doing 30 years for it, you know. Most of the dudes in there, I won't say most, but the vast majority, at least probably, I'll say the majority, man. The majority of dudes in prison are not inherently bad people, man. They're from shit circumstances with shitty backgrounds, shitty lives, and shitty poverty, and they only know one thing.
They're just
and that's
out
why
for
this is a
themselves.
revolving door. That's why 91% of men in America either in prison either have been before or will be back or have been twice. I'm in that percentage. The recidivism rate is over 91% in America because probation's a fucking trap. Because they make more money. Because you go to prison and you make the military's clothes and the feds, and then they get to pay you 3 cents an hour to make military clothes. They just decked out their whole military. They pay you $50 for that whole month of work and making military clothes, and then you spend that $50 on their commissary that they're charging you double the street price for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait, they make military
profit off of
clothes
your
in
profit
prison?
off of your profit. Yeah.
They also make license plates. They make.
I know
that.
that. I knew about license plates. I didn't know they still did license plates.
I think that's a state.
I knew they
thing.
did.
I don't think in the feds they do that, but in the states they do.
Yeah.
And in the feds, we have what's called the Unicorn program, just like unicorn, but with no N at the end. And different prisons have different ones. So, for example, one that's down there in Louisiana, I can't remember the name. Or shit, I'm in Louisiana now. One that's here in Louisiana, I can't remember the name of it now. It used to be a leper colony. Why the hell can't I think about it? It used to be a leper colony, and now it's a prison. But hell, what the hell was I saying before that? I started thinking about that damn prison. My bad, man.
Unicorn.
Yeah, Unicorn. They make somewhere around here. They make the glasses and the cups and the towels for every federal prison, so they don't have to purchase it. They give them the raw supplies at cents for millions, like pennies for millions of whatever, and let the inmates make stuff for the other inmates. So everything that you're wearing, your jumpsuit, if you get glasses from the feds, if you get your towel, it's all made, crafted, stitched, or built within the prison system to save them money. In the case of Talladega. At the medium, the Unicorn there does battle dress uniforms for the military. So you're making military uniforms and you have QAs, which are also inmates that have to check and make sure you did it right and all this stuff. And like I said, they pay you a few cents an hour to do hard labor that dudes are getting their fingers into sewing machines and shit. You know, a bunch of convicts sitting at sewing machines all day, stabbing their fingers, not allowed to get paid time off. You don't have any rights as a human in there, even though they tell you you legally do have them. You don't get paid time off. You don't get sick leave. If you get sick, you go to the hole. They lock you up for refusal to work. And then they pay you 3 cents an hour, and then you buy back their super expensive commissary. So they just basically outfitted the whole military with clothes for like 2,000 boxes of zebra cakes. Pretty good fucking deal.
I know we touched on it before, but it's just like the prison industrial complex is just like, it's not about rehabilitation.
Nope.
It's about prosecution and
absolutely numbers.
Yeah.
As many people for as long as possible. If they get in the net, you're done. That's what the FBI is all about. Now, state prisons seem to be a whole separate issue. I don't know about all that. I only went to the feds. But the feds are corrupt from the ground up, man. And I say that proudly and I say it confidently, and I dare them to sue me if that's libel, bro. I dare them because they're crooked from the ground up. The whole system is designed for you to go back in. And I never knew any of this, bro. I'm not saying this because I've been to prison. I'm saying it because I guess I have. I was going to say because I've seen it, not because it pertains to me specifically, but because I've seen it. Almost everybody in there got fucked, man. The whole thing is just a trap. Don't even get me started on mandatory minimum sentences. Oh, look, if you got a gun and any kind of drug at all, mandatory minimum 10 years. That's going to stop crime. How does that stop crime when they didn't tell anybody about mandatory minimum sentencing? You don't know about mandatory minimum until you get there and you have one and it's too fucking late. It doesn't stop anything.
Like we talk about PKA and we talk about Kyle. Like that almost fucked Kyle really bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like with the guns. This is, and that's someone who should not be affected by this kind of law. Like this is just someone who likes guns and who likes to smoke weed.
Yeah,
it's just like,
and like sharing his weed
at the same time.
You know what that means? That means 25 years.
Exactly. Exactly. Mandatory
Christ.
minimum sentencing, man. I never had even heard that word before. I remember I was in the jail and a dude came back crying. He went to a lawyer visit and came back crying his eyes out. A grown-ass man in front of God and everybody coming there crying. We're like, dude, what's the matter? He said, man, men. I didn't even know what man, men meant. What he meant was his lawyer had just saw him, and his crime got a mandatory minimum sentence. And his lawyer just basically told him, you're fucked, bro. You're getting 20 years for this. You're going. I can't stop this. Yeah. It's mandatory minimum. It's illegal for him to give you under 20 years. He can't I'm
surprised it wasn't worse for Kyle with, like, because he had, like, the explosive license, like the whatever that license what is it called? Where, like, for, like, heavy-duty fireworks. FFL? Yeah, exactly. He had, like, that kind of licensing and everything. So I'm surprised that, like, because of the drug charges, like, it wasn't worse.
Well, to be honest, that can have to actually be a little bit of a safety blanket for him. The more that he can prove that it was all legitimate and not because the way that the law is written, it's stated that it's because the gun is to protect drugs.
Yeah, because all his guns were legal. And so I think all his guns were pretty good. I think, but just for the drugs, like, it's just so stupid. It's so stupid how it is, like, especially. Who's checking the mail? Yeah, honestly, we should blame the post office. The post office is the reason that Kyle went to jail.
What the fuck did they do?
They found a weed.
Turned him in.
They found the weed.
Oh, he received it.
Yeah,
in the mail?
He ordered it in the mail.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I thought he got caught with it on his person.
No.
They waited delivery.
Please they waited until he picked it up.
Yes, I knew it. They always do that shit. Fuck the feds, man. Them crooked sons of bitches. Oh my God, not Kyle, bro. He got the fake set up. He got the post office set up. No,
didn't they raid him? Yeah, they raided his house and they found half an ounce of marijuana.
So
on one of the raids, but that wasn't because of the initial investigation. The original investigation is because of of the post office tip, and then also they wrote a warrant that said because he was wearing shorts.
Huh?
Okay,
yeah,
so
because he was wearing.
I've been quiet. So he was wearing basketball shorts, so they knew 100% sure that he was going home to go smoke some weed. Instead of going out and going about his day and doing everything that he normally would do, he 100% was going home to smoke weed.
Are you implying that they legitimately tried to use his clothing as evidence against him?
Yes.
You're trolling me.
I'm dead serious.
No, the judge didn't laugh in that lawyer's face for saying that dumb shit? You're trolling me, right? They seriously said that he was wearing. God, I can't. I'm telling you, bro.
That's why the state case.
I can't, failed. Man. I can't. How do people not see this?
The state case couldn't be couldn't be upheld because of that.
Continued because of that problem. So then the FBI.
Yeah, it becomes federal, especially with the mail. Yeah, and pretty much anything that goes through mail, or most of the time guns. There's a loophole where guns are almost always federal, unless the gun and the ammunition were made in the state that you're in. It's a federal crime. It's a loophole law because the guns, those are where they really get us, man.
That's really good to know. I'm going to keep that in mind.
I had a cellmate, man, got 27 years for a broken gun that doesn't fire. 27 years. The law says now that when a felon is caught with a firearm, okay, before they can receive their mandatory minimum 5, it's like 5 to life. You can't get less than 5 off the rip unless you snitch on somebody. But when you get caught, fuck, man, I lost my train of thought again. I'm sorry. I looked at my second monitor.
It's all good.
I said when you get caught, I know that.
When you get caught, higher rates of being incarcerated for longer periods of time because of firearms.
I remember talking about the mandatory minimum sentence. Yeah, the guns are, it's a loophole because the mandatory minimum 5 to 20 for guns. I'm sorry, man. All I remembered was mandatory minimum there. And guns are like the number one way to get the longest sentences, man. My cellmate had a gun. The law says, that's what I was going to say. The law says that if a felon is found with a firearm, they must, in a forensic setting, fire the gun to prove that it works. If it does not work, it is not legally considered a gun. Legally considered. Obviously, it's still a gun. But if it can't shoot, it's not a gun by the law. You know what I mean? He had no clip and no hammer in this gun. It was an old antique pistol, which some types of antique pistols are allowed for felons, believe it or not, that was laying under a pile of clothes in his girlfriend's closet when his PO showed up and did a random search without suspicion and got that man 27 years in prison for a gun that doesn't work, which is illegal. And nobody's doing shit. He's gonna do that time. I'm telling you right now, he's gonna do 24, whatever the good time is, 22, 23 years on that. Dude came in 35 years old, man, for a gun that didn't even work. I read his paperwork. He's telling the truth. It was not a gun. It was the remnants of a gun. 27 years. And so, you know what they did? Hey, you know what? We can get a lot more people for a lot longer. Let's make it to where if the gun and the ammo aren't from the same state, which who the fuck, when does that ever happen? I'm from Mississippi, and I don't think anybody's walking around with gun and ammo, both Mississippi made, you know, but they don't check it or anything.
I used to be able
It's
to
a very
do that.
old thing.
There was Remington up in New York.
There's a Remington, Mississippi.
So I used to be able to get whatever the fuck I wanted.
Yep.
It would have worked.
It would have. That's not a federal crime. It's a state crime if you're a felon, obviously, but
I'm not a felon.
Good. Congratulations, man. It kind of fucking sucks. You got to kind of monka just a little bit all the time. Not really. I mean, I don't do anything that I should be nervous about. Now that I'm off paper, I don't give a fuck anymore. Like when I was on paper, I was terrified constantly because I am now fully aware of the fact that they can do whatever they want. It doesn't matter how good you're being or what you did or didn't do. They don't care. They can do it if they want to. And so I was scared the entire time. But now that I'm off paper, if they wanted to actually put me back in prison, I'd have to catch a whole new charge, and I don't do any illegal shit. So we're good. I don't even pirate movies anymore, bro. Fuck that. I go back before that same judge. He's going to give me the max. He hated my guts.
That's got to be a shitty situation. Not being able to pirate movies, not being able to steal music.
I mean, I did it a pretty good bit back in the day. Yeah. But we have almost every fucking home subscription now between my mom sharing it with us and my in-laws. So we're pretty good off, you know.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if I go out,
just make it pretty
6 months from now, if I find something, a movie is just not on any platform, we'll see. But for now, I'm not taking any chances. I know that.
Well, man, it's been 2 hours. I don't want to hold you from spending time with your family and stuff like that. It's been a fucking blast. Would love to have you on again.
I appreciate it, man. It was good shooting the shit with y'all. I appreciate you, asking better questions. You know, it's not the typical, did you drop the soap? The last 2 podcasts or interview things that I did, I didn't get the did you drop the soap. So rock and roll, man. Thank you guys.
Definitely, brother. Anytime you want to come on, just shoot me a message if you just want to shoot the shit and have some fun.
For sure. And vice versa, man. Anytime you need somebody, man, I will be I'm down anytime. It won't take as long this time, I promise.
I do apologize for having to get up and run to take care of the baby. She needed me.
I understand.
Obviously,
bro.
I'm a shitty parent. Baby was whining.
No, a shitty parent would have stayed at the computer. You did great, man. I understand. I'd have done the same thing, bro.
But thank you guys. I think real shit's been talked. We'll see you fucking next time.
Later, everybody.
Stream.